Sorry, Sue, I can get the Wi-Fi. No.
Do I have sound now? I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't realize the sound wasn't going. I just minimize it and re-maximize it. Do we have sound now?
Just $35 a month, and the price is the price, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Now we have sound. How annoying. How annoying. Talking for minutes. Okay. All right, let's start over. Let's take it from the top. The topic is the NFL, the WWE. And again, it's really a rhetorical question. We know what the answer to the question is, but still, the majority of America would say no. They'd say, no, it's not scripted like the WWE. It's real competition. Did you see that fumble by Zay Flowers at the goal line? Did you see the bad calls by the refs? I definitely see the bad calls every week. I mean, the Ravens-Chiefs game was a horribly biased officiated game that gave us the outcome we imagined. But again, year after year, we're showing the parallels. Hold on, let me do something. It's already getting dark in here. Too far north in this hemisphere. Hold on, I'm going to turn on the lights so it's not so dark. Okay. It's more like it. So, okay. If you do not think the NFL is the WWE, I want you to stop whatever you're doing, and I want you to look this up. I want you to look up last night's Royal Rumble, January 27th, 2024. And I want you to tell me where I'm wrong. Last night's Royal Rumble winner won it in back-to-back years, okay? Just like how Mahomes is going to back-to-back Super Bowls. Last night's winner got his 15th WWE championship, and he was the 15th entrant into the ring last night in the Royal Rumble. Like Mahomes wears number 15, like how Mahomes poses with the WWE belt, just like his wingman Aaron Rodgers. You know, Aaron Rodgers with the discount double check and does the thing with the belt. Last week, Josh Allen picked up his 15th home loss, losing to Mahomes. Mahomes trying to win his 15th playoff game of his career in the Super Bowl. Remains to be seen if he can do it. But what are the odds that, again, you have this parallel? Because we're showing this stuff year after year. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Super Bowl. There's always these parallels every single year. And they literally have the quarterbacks posed with the WWE belt. Just like we got in the thumbnail here. Shout out to Frank the Truth Tank who just sent that over. But about today's game between the Ravens and Chiefs. And then we'll talk more about the one going on right now, Lions and Niners. But Ravens and Chiefs, again, I did give it to you guys for free a year ago. As soon as Super Bowl 57 was over, we said, look for the AFC Championship to be Chiefs and Ravens. The Chiefs have the most straightforward narrative to potentially become 4-2 in Super Bowls on the 42nd day of the year. And then the Ravens were already starting to have all these deaths connected to the team. And then it got even worse as the season approached, from Ray Lewis's son to Jim Brown. Jim Brown was on the Browns that became the Baltimore Ravens, to Ryan Mallett, to so many others. Just so many deaths connected to the Baltimore Ravens football team. So, about today's game, the reason it looks so good for the Chiefs is it's the year of Super Bowl 58, and all the 58s were on their side. Again, Andy Reid stayed on 58 losses with the Chiefs. Not to mention Andy Reid picked up his 58th loss this year with the Chiefs on Christmas Day in the Super Bowl stadium in Vegas. But the Baltimore Ravens fell to 5-8 versus the Chiefs today by losing. Just like how the Chiefs became 5-8 in the wild card round on 58-date numerology. Those first games in the wild card were the Texans and then the Chiefs. They were both winners on the same day. And once upon a time, the Dallas Texans became the Kansas City Chiefs. But again, Andy Reid, born in 58, the owner of the Chiefs, Clark Hunt, 58 years old. Andy Reid lost his son in 2012 on August 5th, a date that can be written 5/8 or 8/5 today. The Chiefs became 8-5 versus the Ravens. National Football League's 85. The National Football League was founded in Chicago. Their only Super Bowl season in Chicago was the 85-86 season. They won with 46 points with the revolutionary 4-6 defense when Chicago equals 46. But also this year, we upgraded the Chiefs to the number one team to be in the Super Bowl after week 3 this year with what the Chiefs did against Chicago. If you go back to week 3, you'll see that Andy Reid got his 271st career win in that game, which is the 58th prime number. Again, Jim Nantz is giving out the Super Bowl trophy this year on the 271st day of his age. That's the 58th prime. That's why they got him doing it. Andy Reid got his 131st win with the Chiefs in that same game. 271st of his career because he used to coach the Eagles. 131st with the Chiefs when Super Bowl's 131. And the Chiefs also won that game with 41 points. If you do it the small way, Super Bowl equals 41 instead of 131. And today Mahomes got his 41st road win over Baltimore, which also equals 41, whereas Ravens equals 25. And Andy Reid got his 25th playoff win. So just the numbers today, the numbers just all lined up for the Chiefs over the Ravens. And again, it was a nice value because the Chiefs were the underdog. And Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, just threw an interception. Again, you guys, Jared Goff, the #1 pick of the draft. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of his respective draft. Jared Goff went to Cal, not far from where the Niners play, just like Aaron Rodgers. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. But yeah, just about the WWE thing. Look into last night's Royal Rumble. Look at all the 15s on it. And then think about Mahomes going to back-to-back Super Bowls, trying to win his 15th career playoff game if he gets it done. And let's not forget last year, he won it in State Farm Arena doing the State Farm ads when State Farm equals 103, and it was the 103rd NFL season last year. He went into the Super Bowl 10-3 in the playoffs, beat the Eagles, and became 11-3 when Eagles equals 113 in Gematria. And it's just like this year, he's doing the bundle ad. The word bundle equals 58 when you run the alphabetical order forwards. The word bundle equals 104 when you run it in reverse. It's the 104th season. It's like Taylor Allison Swift. Her name equals 104, small way. And then the big way, just her last name alone, Swift is 58. And all week they've been showing you that picture in the media of Jason Kelce, the brother of Travis Kelce, celebrating with the shirt off with all the Chiefs fans, because, of course, his brother plays for the Chiefs. And in that photo, you have one guy also in there, a fan, with his back to you with the number 58 on it. I mean, they're telling you the Chiefs are on their way to Super Bowl 58. Not to mention all week they've been telling you about the 3 dead Chiefs fans that froze to death as Mahomes tries to win his 3rd Super Bowl. And again, they're putting up the Kobe Bryant statue 3 days before the Super Bowl, and it's on the anniversary of Derek Thomas' death, the famous Kansas City Chief who wore the number 58. Not to mention Kobe Bryant equals 58. Kobe Bean Bryant also equals 54. Super Bowl 58 is the 54th of the modern era, and let's not forget the Chiefs won the Super Bowl a week after Kobe's death when it was Super Bowl 54. Super Bowl 54 was the Joe Montana Bowl. Kansas City over San Francisco, the Joe Montana teams. It was the 2019-2020 season. Montana wore 19 with the Chiefs, 16 with the Niners. And that brings us to this game. You got the Niners versus Jared Goff, who played in the Bay Area. Jared Goff wears 16 to idolize Joe Montana, number 16, who won Super Bowl 16. And again, Jared Goff, he went to Cal, just like Aaron Rodgers. Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, they both went to Cal. If you don't know the history of Aaron Rodgers, who was in the league longer than Goff, of course, Aaron Rodgers came out of Cal early the year that the 49ers got the #1 overall draft pick, and he thought he was going to be drafted by his favorite 49ers. That's why he came out of Cal early. That's the storyline. Mike McCarthy was the offensive coordinator of the 49ers that year, and he preferred Alex Smith to Aaron Rodgers. This was the story. So the Niners drafted Alex Smith instead of Aaron Rodgers. Then the next year, Mike McCarthy leaves San Francisco, becomes the head coach of the Packers, and he gets Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, right? And then him and Aaron Rodgers go on to win Super Bowl 45, right? They go on to win Super Bowl 45. Usher was a halftime performer at Super Bowl 45. Usher is 45 years old right now. Super Bowl 45 was the Packers over the Steelers. NFC North won the Super Bowl that year. The Lions play in the NFC North like the Packers. And again, Rodgers left the division. Goff's there. 2 Cal quarterbacks. Remember last year how before the season began, the story was Aaron Rodgers got his first tattoo, and it was a big tattoo on his forearm. Big tattoo on his forearm of a lion. Big tattoo of a lion, right? And then Aaron Rodgers' last ever game with the Packers was versus the Lions. And it was of Leo the lion, having to do with the zodiac and the 88 constellations, and then the year finished with a massive 88 ritual. We talked about it last year. So now here we are a year later. Rodgers, he was a big storyline before the season, but then he went down with the supposed real injury on September 11th with the New York Jets. Never forget, 911. That was made the emergency dialing code in 68, the same year World Trade Center construction began, and the same year the New York Jets had their only Super Bowl winning season. Lions just went up big here. By the way, congrats to the people who already cashed on the player props. We liked Montgomery and McCaffrey for touchdowns in this game. They've already scored. And you had to love how this Niners-Lions game began with number 9 versus the Niners getting his 4th career touchdown, which is what they put up on the screen. So 4-9 against the 49ers, the same team that won their last Super Bowl over the Chargers with 49 points. And now Harbaugh just got hired by the Chargers, and he coached the Niners and was in that Harbaugh Bowl. Remember, that was Super Bowl 47 where John and Maryland equal 47, and John and Maryland won Super Bowl 47, the Blackout Bowl. But yes, Usher, coming back to Usher, the halftime performer. Usher has the exact same birthday as Jared Goff. They're both born October 14th, right? Usher is 16 years older than Jared Goff. 16 years. And Jared Goff wears number 16 in tribute to Montana. And it was the 2008 season where Dan Campbell was a player for the Lions that they went 0-16, right? They went 0-16. They went 0-16, the Lions. Now they got number 16, Goff. If the Lions win today, they're going to get their 15th win of the season. And it would set up the narrative for potentially the 16th win of the year. And if they do have the Lions win the Super Bowl this year, the funny thing is, if the Lions win the Super Bowl, again, in every major sport, Las Vegas, Golden Knights became the first ever Stanley Cup winner for the franchise this past season. Las Vegas, where the Super Bowl is, won their first Stanley Cup. In the NBA, the Denver Nuggets won their first NBA Finals. In Major League Baseball, the Texas Rangers, by the way, we put in the future for the Rangers with 50-1 odds after game 1 of the MLB season. It was all synced up with George W. Bush, like we called day 1. The 119th World Series, which with the Rangers ended on the 119th day of Bush's age after he threw out the first pitch. So Major League Baseball's the WWE too. But exactly what we called on day 1, how it was all synced with Bush. The World Series ended up being synced with Bush. It's just undeniable. And let's not forget the Denver Nuggets won the NBA Finals 4-1 with Jokic, the 41st pick, on the anniversary of number 41's Bush, the father of Bush. The father of George W. Bush, I should say. But anyway, first-time champions in NHL, NBA, and Major League Baseball. And the Lions, they got a narrative to potentially be first-time champion. And in Gematria, Lions equals 24, so does the word cat. It's 2024. It's a storyline. And, I was thinking more about it just in the most pure cipher. If you're new here, Gematria, which comes from Kabbalah. The most pure cipher is the alphabetic order with numerology. Manly P. Hall lays out the exact cipher in his book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. If you write out Freemasonry, remember all of the major sports in America are credited to Freemasons. In basketball, Naismith. In Major League Baseball, Abner Doubleday. In football, Walter Camp. All Masons, all these men. And again, Masons etch all his temple, or all his number on their temples. And Masonry is also based in Kabbalah, where this whole Gematria thing comes from. But the word Freemasonry equals 58. It's the year Super Bowl 58. The word Freemason equals 42. First ever Super Bowl on the 42nd day of the year is Super Bowl 58. And then just the word Masonry alone is 33. And if they do have the Lions and the Chiefs face each other, it's going to be the 3 seed versus the 3 seed from the respective conferences, AFC, NFC, 3 seed versus 3 seed, kind of like 33. If Dan Campbell wins today, his record as a coach is going to be 32, 33-1. So there's a narrative for him to become 33, 33-1 if the Lions can bring it home. And all year they've been showing this purple and red logo, and they brought a lot of attention to it in the mainstream media about, the Ravens wear purple and the 49ers wear red. Well, what we've been talking about is how the original Lions team was the Portsmouth Spartans out of Ohio. That franchise became the Detroit Lions. If you look up the Portsmouth Spartans, they wore purple uniforms, right? So in a way, if you do have the Lions and the Chiefs, you got a purple and red matchup, purple and red. But it's backdoor, right? Most people don't know about this Portsmouth Spartans. And again, think about how University of Michigan just won the college championship over the purple and gold Washington Huskies. Again, the Huskies in Seattle, the 206 area code. It was University of Michigan. The campus is 206 years old. It actually began in Detroit before it moved to Ann Arbor. Michigan kept Nick Saban on 206 wins, beating him in their bowl game. And what's the one other piece I'm forgetting? Oh, yeah. Michigan Wolverines in Gematria is 206. So Harbaugh with the Ravens was on, or the Ravens franchise was on 206 losses until today. They did pick up their 207th. But, and by the way, you go back and look at that week, the Chiefs hit that big ritual in week 3, beating Chicago, Andy Reid's 271st win. The Lions won that week 20-6. And if the Lions do beat Brock Purdy's also going to fall to 20-6 in this game. But we'll see what's going to happen here. There's a lot of game left. It's just looks like it's a 3-and-out for the Niners. Going to have to punt down 21-7 as a big favorite. We thought the smart move in this game was to take the Lions with the points. We like Chiefs to win in the early one. And I had to hedge this morning. We had futures in before the season began for either the Ravens or Chiefs to be in the Super Bowl, and we had them both potentially playing the 49ers as a rematch of the Harbaugh Bowl or a rematch of Super Bowl 54, because Super Bowl 54, again, Joe Montana Bowl, Super Bowl 58 is the 54th of the modern era. So we thought the numbers were there for both those Super Bowls. The Super Bowl's on 211, the 47th prime, like Super Bowl 47. But the Lions have definitely made things interesting. And I'm wondering if the Lions are going to end up kicking a field goal for their next points. They're up 21-7. If they end up it'd be amazing if the Lions take a 24-7 lead. If this happens, if they end up scoring a field goal and go up 24-7, Detroit's establishment date is the 24th of July, 24-7. And remember, the United States of America is 247 years old right now. And so is the Illuminati. Again, they both turned 247 last year. The Illuminati's birthday is May 1st, 1776, founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. And again, George Washington penned that letter, worried about the Illuminati was going to take over Freemasonry. And of course, the United States, born July 4th, 1776. At least that's how it goes down in the history books, even though it doesn't really make sense for 7-4 to be the birthday if you've ever looked into that. There's literally like no reason for 7-4 to be the birthday of the U.S. if you've never looked into that. Like literally none. It doesn't make any sense. Other than when you learn Gematria and you realize holiday equals 74 and Independence Day equals 74 and something's Masonic and occult and English and energy and Kabbalah and Gematria. It's a big time number. Killing like 3 of the first 5 U.S. presidents dead on 7-4. But
How many people did you tell?
yeah. Anyway, I'll talk more about these games. It looks like we're getting some people in here who'd like to come on. I did pin the top pinned comment in the live chat is to join the stream. And if you guys want to come on and, shout out to Slick Nick, who had the great call on the Zay Flowers touchdown. Shout out to Slick Nick. I'll take that as a tip, Slick Nick. You didn't have to do that. Slick Nick helped the community win some money today with a Zay Flowers prop bet. And he comes through with the donation, and he's just a young guy. If I'm not mistaken, I think Slick Nick found out about the work when I covered the Stoneman Douglas shooting. If I'm not mistaken, Slick Nick was a student at Stoneman Douglas when that happened. But shout out to the young man who's become a great contributor to the community as well. And, we got the man in Boise. What's up, 208 Productions?
Yeah, this shit is totally scripted around Eminem, and like, if Detroit was to go to their first Super Bowl, of course it was gonna, like heavily involve Eminem.
But by the way, the Eminem piece. If you read about Taylor Swift, apparently she opens a lot of her concerts with the Eminem song "Lose Yourself," and the NFL a couple of weeks back brought a emphasis to Taylor Swift and how she had one of her first public debuts singing in front of a large audience at an NFL game in 2006 in the Detroit Lions Stadium. So we've been talking about this. Could they do the Taylor Swift Eminem Bowl? And right now it's definitely got some legs, but yeah, go ahead, 208.
Well, yeah, the Lions hosted the Super Bowl in 2006 on February 5th. This is their 94th season. From February 5th, 2006 to February 11th, 2024 is 940 weeks on the nose. 940. And that was the Super Bowl played in Detroit. Super Bowl 40.
And something we talked about with Eminem is he did that song in tribute to the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting called Darkness, if you recall. And darkness equals 91, like the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting was on the day leading 91 days left in the year. And the music video for that song came out 91 days after Eminem's birthday. But remember, they said 58 people were killed at the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting, and it was 58 days from the Nevada governor's birthday. And now they got Eminem involved in the playoffs. The other week, he was begging Stafford, the old Lions quarterback, to throw the game for Detroit. And he supposedly wrote a letter to him saying, "I rapped for you. Please let us." It's like, who would ever say that? I rapped for you. But somebody's making fun of you in the chat right now saying, oh, this guy thinks they scripted around Eminem. For the guy in the chat who's making fun of him, really the joke's on you because this is what they do every year. The entire world of entertainment is scripted. Just like how we're showing you how it's synced up with the WWE, it's synced up with Taylor Swift. Year after year, Hollywood movies. Snoop Dogg just put out the movie the other day, The Underdogs, and the kids in the film wear the purple and gold uniforms, just like how the original Detroit Lions, the Portsmouth Spartans, wore purple and gold. And funny enough, today's 128, and in Gematria, underdog equals 128, and the underdog was the Chiefs. They already won. If the Lions upset, it's rare that two underdogs win in the NFL on a day where there's only two games on the slate. But today would be the right day for it because it's 128. And underdogs 128. And again, the Snoop Dogg movie just came out about football and underdogs. And Snoop Dogg used to call himself, or started calling himself Snoop Lion as well. And he's got the connection with Eminem. So for the guy in the chat, bitch, please learn some Gematria. Now go ahead to 208. What else, man?
Yeah. Here we are on the 28th. Darkness equals 28 in the most pure cipher. And, what is it? Eminem's 32 in the most pure cipher. And the Lions broke that 32-year playoff drought this year. And then Evan, not a sports journalist, I was watching his stream. He had some pretty good notes about like the Lions when they won the championship in 57. The total score added up to 58 points when they played the Niners in that year. And then I'm going all over the place, but
just to make the point though about that 57 championship, that was 66 years ago. NFL has the Gematria 66, so does Lions. The first Super Bowl season was the 66-67 season. 66 is the 11th triangular number, like football's a game of 11 on 11. By the way, if you're watching the Chiefs game, at the beginning of the game, Mahomes completed his first 11 passes. And they said that was the best start for a quarterback in a conference championship since 2002 when Rich Gannon did it for the Raiders. They put that right on the screen at the beginning of the game. And now where's Mahomes on his way to? The Super Bowl hosted by the Raiders, where, again, Andy Reid got his 58th loss. And you see, that's how they bait people. Because everyone was watching those Christmas games. The Chiefs got their asses handed to them by the lowly Raiders. And the Ravens just smoked the 49ers. And the argument was who's the best team in the league between the Ravens and the Niners. So that's how they get in the people's minds who thinks the games are real, like, oh, how could the Chiefs possibly beat the Ravens this season the way these games look? And, well, you see how it is. And then, I mean, if you watch today's game, it was just Baltimore, which equals 95, had 95 penalty yards. They put up that stat at the end of the game, too, including the crazy 15-yard jumping off sides and smashing the lineman before the play to put him at 95. But again, you guys, I mean, it's the National Fix League all day, every day. Go ahead, 208.
Yeah, the purple and red thing, Eminem's last album, Curtain Call 2, and that's symbolic too. Curtain Call, like, you know, they have Usher at the halftime, ushering in something new. You got to close the curtains on whatever you're ushering out. You know what I mean? So
That's a good connection. That's interesting.
That album, Curtain Call, came out on August 5th, the same day that Andy Reid's son died. 10 years to the day. It came out August 5th, 2022. That was 555 days before the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs just got their 555th win all time. And you can make the argument they could stay on 555 if they lose. And
here's something that's sick we talked about. If the Chiefs and the Lions face each other, we talked about this. If the Lions win today, they're going to get their 601st franchise win. 601, similar to 61, because Detroit Lions equals 61, so does Las Vegas Raiders, who are hosting. But if you want to look at the death of Andy Reid's son, August 5th, 2012, from that death to the Super Bowl is exactly 601 weeks later. On the nose, 601 weeks. So if Chiefs and Lions face, Lions will go in with 601 franchise wins.
And 61, the 18th prime. I'm pretty sure that was 18 years ago when Detroit hosted the Super Bowl. Yeah, it was 18 years ago when Detroit hosted the Super Bowl.
trying to remember which one that was.
Super Bowl 40.
6.
Yeah, it was 18.
What was that Super Bowl that Detroit hosted? I can't remember what teams it was.
Remember the Heinz Ward Bowl?
Oh, wait. That's the one. No, that was Super Bowl 40. Oh, yeah. Never mind. I'm doing bad math. I was doing 54. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one where they said it was the worst officiated Super Bowl in history. That's where the Steelers beat the Seahawks, Super Bowl 40. Yeah, I remember. No, it was about Jerome Buss. Jerome Bettis, the bus. He retired after that game, and Bill Cowher got the Super Bowl, and everybody said the game looked so fixed because the calls were so bad. They took touchdowns away from the Seahawks. They gave them to the Steelers. Yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, from that game to Super Bowl 58 is 940 weeks. Key digits 94. And
It's the Lions' 94th season. Seattle, Washington equals 94. I was out on the street before game 1 of the NFL season explaining why Stafford was going to get his 94th win over the Seahawks. Seattle just lost in the college championship in the purple and gold, like how Detroit's original team wore purple and gold against the Portsmouth Spartans. But yeah, go ahead. 940 weeks. Good one.
No, yeah, that's what I was saying. And you added more onto it. That's perfect.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Seattle-Detroit potential if Detroit upsets the 49ers, who play in the division as the same division as the Seahawks. And yeah, they're just making it look easy. They're just moving the ball like nothing. Niners struggling. And we talked about how this could happen because, again, Goff was the first pick of the draft and Brock Purdy was the last, and Goff was the big star out of Cal. So
isn't there a huge connection with Seattle and Detroit and the musicians?
Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell
died in Detroit from Soundgarden in Seattle.
Right.
2 music cities, right?
And wasn't that synced with the eclipse? Wasn't that an eclipse?
Yeah,
ritual,
Chris Cornell, Black Hole Sun, the big 201. Chris Cornell born on the 201st day of the year, and then Chester Bennington died on his birthday, supposedly hung himself from Lincoln Park.
I'm just thinking of how these could, how they could connect, or been foreshadowing. Because
there's 42 connection with Washington State and Detroit, because of course Detroit's on the 42nd parallel, going with the Super Bowl on the 42nd day of the year. They're playing the 49ers, which equals 42, and this game began with a 42-yard touchdown. I think I said that while I was muted. I think I talked about that part while I was muted, but this game with the Lions and Niners. If you watch the video, I upload a video. I was talking about the 42 connection, and then while I was doing the video, I was like, oh, it was a long touchdown. It was a 42-yard touchdown, and then they said it was the 4th of his career for number 9 versus the 49ers. Anyway, Washington State's the 42nd state. Detroit's on the 42nd parallel, so they both kind of have the 42 connection.
And did you catch that touchdown was at 13:18 on the clock, right when he crossed the goal line?
Revelation 13:18, beast.
And they say that the beast has a mouth of a lion.
Now remember that they put up, so number of the beast in Gematria equals 174. And when we had the Jesuitic Nation year the other year, it was the 174th day of the Jesuitic Nation year that they unveiled the beast that was the lion with wings, just like from Revelation, at the United Nations. And funny enough, the United Nations started in San Francisco, where the Lions are playing at today. And, of course, the United Nations has a lot to do with what's going on with Israel, and you got the Lion of Judah. So, yeah, there's definitely some interesting things going on here.
Do you know about the curse of Bobby Lane, the old
from
the 1958?
Yeah, we talked about that. For people who don't know that, the curse of Bobby Lane from 1958 with the Lions, he said they would never win a championship for the next 50 years. Well, it's been more than 50 years, but it's funny that they can go to the Super Bowl beating San Francisco. We call San Francisco the 50 city because San Francisco equals 50. And again, they were once 5-0 in Super Bowls, and they hosted Super Bowl 50. And it's crazy that Super Bowl 50 is already 8 years ago. It was 8 years ago that USA Today wrote their hit piece on me for exposing Super Bowl 50. In the very beginning of that season, we explained why it was going to be the Broncos over the Panthers. And exactly what it was. We explained why Von Miller was going to be the Super Bowl MVP number 58 and why Cam Newton was going to be the 58th quarterback to start in the Super Bowl. Huey P. Newton, 58, the founder of the Black Panthers, like how the Carolina Panthers have the Black Panther on their helmet. And again, Huey P. Newton died in 1989, the same year that Cam Newton was born. Cam Newton born on the 131st day of the year. Huey P. Newton dead on the day, leaving 131 days left in the year. Huey P. Newton equals 131 like Super Bowl as well, and also 58 like how Cam Newton became the 58 QB. So, and now the Niners are a big part of this Super Bowl 58 season, making it to the NFC Championship. Again, they hosted that one that year. Peyton Manning, number 18 in his 18th season, rode off into the sunset. His first pass in the game was an 18-yard completion to number 81. I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Eminem was 49 when he performed at that Super Bowl. Just I think Snoop Dogg was too.
Right.
Like
So,
age.
again, for people who forgot, the year that Stafford won the Super Bowl after going from Detroit to LA, you had all the rappers at halftime. Snoop Dogg's mom died by the numbers that year. If you recall, she either died 131 days before the Super Bowl or 112 days before the Super Bowl. I have to go back and double check. Super Bowl's 131, forwards 112 in reverse. And this year the Super Bowl is on 112, but you even got Snoop Dogg doing this Underdogs movie with the color scheme we've been looking at. And again, just you had the Detroit quarterback win the Super Bowl essentially that year in LA on February 13th, 213 in the 213 area code. And that was right after Stafford got traded for Goff. And then this year, Goff begins his playoff run over Stafford. And he looks like he might take Detroit to a place they've never been before. So we'll see.
One more interesting thing. Eminem's record company, Shady Records, has an interesting gematria for the day it was founded. It equals, in reverse, it has 185, and it was founded on the day leaving 185 days in the year. And then in the most pure, Shady Records is 58, and then in English ordinal, it's 139. And from Super Bowl 58 to the anniversary of the establishment date is 139 days, matching the gematria of Shady Records.
Huh. Interesting.
It was, I think, June 29th, 1999 or something.
Interesting.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
You can let
if I'm not mistaken, the last time Detroit was in the playoffs or won a playoff game was 91. Detroit equals 91. And then, again, Lions equals 24. And here we are in 2024. And Missouri is already in the Super Bowl. Missouri, that's another thing we talked about with the potential Mahomes-Goff Super Bowl. Goff started with the Rams. The Rams used to be in St. Louis, Missouri. And recall after the year of the Paradise Fire and the Los Angeles Fire back in 2018, you had the shootout between Goff and Mahomes, and Goff won that game 54-51. Like Super Bowl 58 will be the 54th of the modern era. And then after the game, they brought out Goff's father, who was a fireman, and they said he helped put out the fires in Paradise. But that was one of the other links we talked about, just that historical, super high-scoring game, 105 total points. Goff versus Mahomes. It was the record for the NFL at the time. And again, just the whole Missouri thing, because again, it's 2024, Lions equals 24, but Missouri's the 24th state. And it's again, if the Chiefs do win the Super Bowl, Mahomes will get his 89th win, which is the 24th prime. And again, Lions does equal 24, but the Lions, they got that narrative through potentially the first team. So we'll see. You got anything else, 208?
Can you still hear me? Okay, my phone glitched out. Yeah, one more quick thing. I just forgot it. It was about 28. Oh yeah, Eminem was born in a little town called St. Joseph in Missouri.
Missouri. That's right. He's from Missouri.
If you look it up, if you look it up, it's 28 miles from Kansas City, and St. Joseph equals 104. And that's sick that they had to bring out Goff's father after that game because father has gematria 58 and 104. So they were foreshadowing that right then.
These are all things we talked about, how they could do this with the Taylor Swift Eminem connection and Eminem being from Missouri. Yep. So for the guy in the chat, man, who thought that was a joke, no, that's it. These guys are chosen and put on the world stage. Eminem, when he first came out, was rapping about how he stole Cage's flow. And for those of you guys who don't know who the rapper Cage is, listen to him. Cage came out before Eminem, and Eminem literally copies exactly how he raps. Cage never got famous. Eminem did, because that's how this world works. You got to sell your soul, sacrifice somebody to get on the stage. And Yeah, I mean, you know, Cage could be the super famous rapper, but there's a reason they chose Eminem. And again, they got these scripts planned out long in advance. You know, Eminem lines up perfectly for their little darkness, Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting ritual, and yeah. So anyway, they're yeah,
Oh,
great decode.
I'm sorry. I can't forget this part. I'm going off my head, so things just keep coming back. I was thinking like Swift is the the software that the international banks use to communicate with each other. And so I was thinking if Eminem's the other part of the ritual, Marshall, I was like, is there anything that could relate to that? And the company Marsh and McLennan was founded 119 years ago, like Vatican's 119. The company literally has the initials M&M, Marsh, and they are the world's number one risk firm, like insurance, claims agency, and they're 119 years old, and they have the initials M and M. So I was like, that's as with regards to the Super Bowl being on the Vatican's birthday, and if Eminem's being a part of this whole ritual, and we thought it was gonna be the Blackout Bowl, but it's the Darkness Bowl.
Yeah, yeah, the Darkness Bowl. And again, for everyone on Patreon, we talked about all these themes before, and it looks like the Lions are going to kick a field goal here and potentially go up 24-7. Again, Detroit founded the 24th day of the 7th month. The country, 247 years old. The Illuminati, 247 years old. Big connection with the Illuminati and Freemasonry. And let's see, is it going to go in? There it is, 24-7. 24-7. One of the best things being aware of 24/7. It's hit a lot in sports in a lot of ways. But if you go back to the video we put out last year, we put it out for free before the game. It was a huge payout. 13.5-point dog in the NBA playoffs. It was the 76ers and Celtics, and it was May 1st, 76ers Celtics game. In the head-to-head for the 76ers and Celtics and the all-time playoff record. I have to go back and double-check what it was. It was either the 76ers got their 247th playoff win on the Illuminati's 247th birthday, and think about it, 1776 76ers, or the Celtics got their 247th postseason loss. And then also in the head-to-head, it was the same type of thing. Either the 76ers got their 247th win versus the Celtics, or the Celtics got their 247th loss versus the 76ers. I got to go back and double-check, but there were two 247s that both played for the 76ers who were 13.5-point underdogs. And think about that line, too, 13.5 on the Illuminati's birthday when they were founded with 13 families in 76. What's 7 plus 6? 13. To go with those 13 stripes and 13 colonies and 13 years of slave school where they don't teach you about any of this, but they should. And yeah, so we've been documenting the 247s all year, and we started to look at the Lions as an interesting team this year. Early on, talking about their establishment on 247. Remember, that was the day X rebranded too. Elon Musk's Twitter rebranded as X on 247. So yeah, it looks like we're going in the half 24-7. Detroit up 17. And in the football game, the kick was just made by number 17, right? To put them up 17 points. In the first game, the Chiefs were up 17-7 at the half, 24 total points. Missouri, the 24 state, Lions 24 now with Goff, who used to play for the Rams that were once in Missouri. So yeah, nothing but rituals, man. And I just said it a while ago, right? Look for the score to be 24-7. There it is. So
the logo for the MGM, like the MGM in Vegas, is a lion.
Yeah, exactly. And they have Barry Sanders doing the ads for MGM. In the zodiac right now, it's the year of the rabbit. But if you look into the Chinese zodiac, the rabbit year is a cat year. And again, both cat and lions equal 24. It's going to become the year of the dragon, February 10th, the day before the Super Bowl. So
that's why they got it synced with B Rabbit from 8 Mile.
B Rabbit. I haven't seen 8 Mile in forever. Which character was B Rabbit?
That was Eminem. That was what they
that was it. Oh no, man. Oh God. I wish I would have had that one earlier.
Yeah.
Oh man. B Rabbit.
All right, well,
by the way, R.I.P. to the guy who battles Eminem in that video, because I know he died not too long ago. I'm going to go back and look at that. That might even be synced with this.
Oh yeah, he did. Didn't I think Proof? I think his best friend died at age when Eminem was 33 in 2006
That's right.
when they hosted that Super Bowl, and then if Dan Campbell becomes 33 and 33, and when the 3 seed and the 3 seed meet each other, Eminem's last album, you know how his logo's the backward E, looks like a 3. In the corner, there's a 3 and a 3 in the bottom corners of that album, with the purple and red logo all on the album. It's all purple and red color scheme.
Yeah, they're going to do the backdoor purple and red, and people aren't going to understand it. But for the people watching this stream, understand the Lions' original team wore purple and gold. The Portsmouth Spartans, look it up, purple and gold, just like the Huskies, who the University of Michigan just beat. The uniforms look almost identical. And look at the Snoop Dogg movie that just came out Friday. The underdogs, the kids are wearing purple and gold. Looks almost identical to the Portsmouth Spartans' old school uniforms. Underdog equals 128. Underdog won the first game for today's Vegas line, and if the Lions win, they're an even bigger underdog. And yeah, if you're on Patreon, man, the two narratives that I was feeling the most with all these last minute facts. Yesterday, I talked big time about Chiefs Lions, and then there's a really nice narrative. If the Niners do come back, which is possible, I'll tell you, here's the Niners narrative to come back at the half, but it's not looking good right now. It's been 19 years since a team won back-to-back Super Bowls. 19 years. And Joe Montana won back-to-back in Super Bowl 23 and 24. This is the 23-24 season. Montana played for the 49ers and Chiefs. 19 years ago, Brady won back-to-back. Brady's from the Bay Area, idolized Joe Montana. Kansas City and Gematria equals 67. Joe Montana is 67 years old. 67 is the 19th prime number. And again, Montana won his first and his third Super Bowls over the same team. He beat the Bengals in the first and third Super Bowls. If Mahomes won his first and third Super Bowls, he could do it over the same team. It would be the 49ers. He won his first Super Bowl in the Joe Montana Bowl. But again, Mahomes' next win is 89, the 24th prime, and Lions does equal 24. And Goff and Mahomes have that history going back to 2018. So, you know, the big what I had to do this morning, since I already had futures in from the start of the season for potential Super Bowl 54 rematch and Super Bowl 58 rematch, I had to hedge with the Lions, and I just covered both bases just in case I was wrong about the Chiefs today. So I put in futures for Lions, Chiefs, and Lions, Ravens, just to be safe. Because once you're in the driver's seat, that's why they say wise people hedge their bets. I was in a position where I couldn't lose, so I just needed to hedge to make sure I didn't lose. And the nice thing is, if it's Lions and Chiefs, man, the Lions pay a ton of money today. So $100 on the Lions paid $385 today.
What did you say was the 16 stat with Goff? 16, you get a 16th.
If the Lions win the Super Bowl, they'll get their 16th win of the season. Goff wears 16 in tribute to Joe Montana. 16 years ago was 2008, the year they went 0-16. Dan Campbell was a player on that team. And again, Usher, the halftime performer. He's exactly 16 years older than Jared Goff. They're both born October 14th. Usher performed in Super Bowl 45. Usher's 45 years old right now. And the NFC North did win Super Bowl 45, and the Lions play in the NFC North. Aaron Rodgers, who went to Cal like Goff, won that Super Bowl 45 over the Steelers. And then we all know that Rodgers last year at the start of the season unveiled his first ever tattoo of the lion. So
you know how Rodgers ended his season? Remember in the offseason what went viral? They said he went and sat in complete darkness for like a week.
Right.
To decide what he wanted to do.
And before the whole Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing, they made a big deal about it for a few days that he was caught at a Taylor Swift concert jamming out. So they've been connecting this Taylor Swift thing even before Travis Kelce Taylor Swift started. And again, Taylor Allison Swift 104 to go with the 104th NFL season. And what you said about St. Joseph, where Eminem's from. And again, Taylor Swift opening her concerts with Eminem's song and getting her first big singing thing at a Detroit Lions game in 2006. So, yeah, this has been a script a long time in the making. And that's what we're always saying, that these scripts, man, it's a storybook. It's 1 year after year. It's like if the NFL is an ongoing storybook, you know, page 1 is Super Bowl 1 season. Page 2, Super Bowl 2 season. We're on page 58 this year. And you start to see how the storyline's been building all this time. So, Yeah.
What's the 16th prime number?
Well, 53 is the 16th prime number. Is that what you mean?
Yep. That's the last Super Bowl that we saw Jared Goff in, correct?
Yeah, Jared Goff lost in Super Bowl 53 to Brady. Los Angeles equals 53,
And then
Patriots
now,
53. That was another Super Bowl. We didn't have to hedge it all that year. That year we had Patriots over Rams from before the season began.
right. All right. Well, hey, I want to let you let some other people in here. Thanks for letting me on.
Well,
Have a
hey,
good
I
rest of
love
your
the research
evening.
you did 208. Nice additions. We don't have anybody else in the room. Hey, if somebody else wants to join the stream, like I know my troll right now. I know my troll is screen recording. Instead of just making videos, chopping up videos and slandering me, why not come on and make your case and then upload a video of you like winning the debate of me being a liar and a fraud, which you try to present in every edited video. Don't you think you should come on and do that, 208? Why doesn't he do that?
They never will, man. They want to go hide in Twitter Spaces with like one person and like just stay in the chats where they can just message.
Right.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I see. That's the thing about
But I
editing,
mean,
man.
yeah,
Because what he does is, I do 3-hour live streams of sports, and we cover both sides of almost every game because that's the fair way to do. But I'll always suggest what side I like more, unless I'm neutral on the game. But what he'll do is he'll just cut up everything intentionally where we're talking about the other side and be like, "Oh, Zach went 0-16 this week." It's like, no, we had a good week this week, you little fraud. So, and that's why he won't
it's
come on and debate.
so disappointing that actually convinces people that disingenuine those videos, because I'll post stuff leaving your links, or just I'll find someone sharing Gematria and I'll post in their comments. I'll be like, yo, you guys need to check out Zach's work. I'll leave a link to your stuff. And so often people will comment and they'll be like, oh, sports Gematria
Yeah,
already
that's the troll
exposed this
network. Just like
clown.
every video I posted today, immediately, Sports Gematria is about to own you. You said Ravens guaranteed. It's like, nope, never said that ever. All year we've been on Chiefs or Ravens. And in every video that I've done about all the Baltimore Devils, I said that doesn't necessarily mean they win it. And again, Sports Gematria knows damn well, because he screen records everything, that after week 3, I laid out the case for why it's the Chiefs based on what Andy Reid did that week. So
It's just super disingenuous, and that's what people fall for. We got a stupid, dumb society who fall for liars and fraudsters, and then
yeah, so
you
here,
know,
come on here. Anyone who reps Sports Gematria or him himself, because I know he's watching and screen recording at this very moment. That's what his job obviously is to do, since he screen records everything I do. He's obviously paid to troll me since he's been doing it for almost a decade now. Come on and dude, that's the way to win the debate. Come on and debate. But we all saw what happened last year. He did actually get caught on a debate with me, and he got owned. And then the person who had that video up took it down for him for his own benefit. So poor guy put his face out there too. We got to see his mutilated little sorry looking face as well, which was funny. But anyway, appreciate it, 208.
yeah, I got to set the record straight.
There he
I've
is,
been
man. Young
accused.
guy.
I've been accused of being you on a burner account on Twitter multiple times. So
Is that right?
we're
Yeah.
two different people. Yep. Hey, you have a good rest of your night, bro.
All right. Thanks, 208, man. You have a good one.
You too.
All right, you guys. The link is pinned to join the chat. I can't take phone calls because I'm using the phone that the phone calls would come through. So the only way to join and you don't have to put your face on the screen. You don't share your camera. You just share your mic. So who wants to come on and debate about what my pick was for the year? I saw the trolls were trying to lie nonstop like they're always doing. Who wants to come on and tell me I was wrong about the AFC Championship and the outcome of this weekend's game? Let's hear it. Yeah, and again, I mean, don't we do this every time when we're live streaming these games? Like, if you guys got to sit here whenever I watch sports games, we're always calling out what's going to happen before it happens. We're not wrong very much. That's why I teach people, use this knowledge in game. See, if you're in game, there's prop bets. You could have bet the end score of halftime well before it happened when we said look for it to be 24-7 at the half. Hold on, I'm gonna minimize this real quick. I gotta take my screenshots of the box score. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back, everybody. Hopefully we get somebody in the room. Join one. I'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, we're back. I just had to take screenshots of the box scores. Actually, you know, this halftime box score, there's nothing jumping out to me, which is rare. I mean, there's some interesting numbers, but I don't see anything game specific. All right. Hopefully, if you guys missed I was doing a live stream for March Madness, and we had a troll come on, and they exposed themselves, so I had to take down the stream. So hopefully, we don't have that kind of stuff happen again. That's the Sports Gematria crew. What's up, AP?
Yo, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, what's up? Yo, I just joined the Patreon. Appreciate the work, man. Who you got winning for the NBA Finals?
I have not figured out the NBA Finals. There's two teams in the East that have the 78 connection because it is the 78th NBA season, and that's the Boston Celtics and Cleveland. And doesn't mean it has to be that, but they are the two teams that have the 78. And then there was something very interesting they did with that in-season tournament with the Lakers and Indiana, and how Larry Bird of the formerly of the Celtics runs Indiana now.
Right.
So I was saying if there was ever because right now the Lakers and the Celtics are tied at 17 championships. Remember, LeBron got the Lakers their 17th in his 17th season after he came over from Ohio, the 17th state, on the first day of the 7th month. And that was another thing we put out that day, why LeBron was going to win the Lakers their 17th championship in his 17th season. But if there was ever a year for one of them to get to 18, I'd say it's this year, because Jordan is 61 years old, and 61's the 18th prime, and they're always syncing up the league with Jordan, just like how the other day was 23 days before Jordan's birthday, and his two former teams were playing, the Wizards and the Bulls, and the Lakers became 23-23, beating the Bulls 23 days before Jordan's birthday. And the Jazz, who Jordan beat twice in the finals, became 23-23, beating the Wizards. And then the Lakers also got their 113th all-time win versus the Bulls, and Michael Jordan equals 113. So
Right.
I got to do a lot more work on the NBA, but those are the things I'm following.
No, but you've been good with the NBA on the
dailies,
especially the Warriors and the Utah Jazz game. Like they won by 1 point. And you were saying that. And also the Lakers just beat the Warriors too by 1 point. So is that like a correlation? Like
it could be. I got to do a lot more research on the NBA, but we're taking it day by day right now. We're doing fine with the daily games, but I don't have a real great feel on the NBA future right now. So
okay, yeah, but the Ravens game versus the Chiefs, it was clear as day, like rigged.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know why people pay to go to these games. I feel bad for the people in Baltimore who paid to go to the game today, because they just watched a horribly biased game. I mean, they're probably all pulling their hair out and mad and angry, and they're like, God, how bad were those calls on our home field? But it's like, well, doesn't that happen all the time if you pay attention?
The Chiefs didn't have a penalty called on them till like the end of the second quarter. It was like,
man, they're getting rid of. Well, they got some offensive holding calls on them. They did have that. They had a few offensive holding calls, and but they got away with holding on defense and pass interference
the whole game.
Times. And then they got some chintzy calls that moved them a ways down the. Patrick Mahomes gets the Tom Brady treatment. Just he touched that guy, he's going 15 yards down the field. So.
Yep.
Oh, look at this. The Niners are on 131 yards at the half. I see 131 yards. The word championships 131, like Super Bowl. This is the NFC championship game. So see if they got to come back.
You also got to look in the NBA commissioner. He just got an extended contract until like the end of the decade. You got to look more into that too, I think, or something.
So that means he gets to stay on Earth a few more years, huh?
Right.
I'm pretty sure that dude is not from here.
Yeah. But yeah, Zach, it was nice talking to you, man. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you for supporting the work. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, you take care.
You too.
All right, we got Living in Time. Welcome to the stream.
Yo, Zach, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
My man, first off, let's get this straight. You a legend. You've been doing this shit for a minute, and you've been on point more than often. Like, people can't deny that. Like, your numbers and the shit you do, 90% of the time is on. The 10%
Well,
might
it
be the
used to be.
sports
Yeah,
shit.
back in the day, I used to be 90%. I'm not 90% anymore, but what I'm teaching is true. I mean, for people who think this is all bullshit, there's something wrong with their heads. So, but go ahead.
Real talk. Because, and this might be an intervention interview type shit. Because I want to know, how did you get to the numbers?
Again, it didn't start with sports. So I'm just going to tell you exactly how I realized it was in sports. So in 2013. I was trying to figure out what was going on in the world because I've been observing it since 9/11. That's when it first clicked in my brain. Actually, it was the 2000 election and 9/11. It was both those things. I was a teenager back then, and I noticed how the election number 43, it went down to the state where his brother was the 43rd governor and his daddy was the 43rd vice president. I was like, okay, there's something up with that. And then 9/11 happened. I was like, come on, man, a national emergency on 911. I started to notice all the 11s, and I was like, what is it? And what is it about numbers? Like, I didn't have a clue. And then I learned about numerology, and then started to study secret societies. Okay, Freemasonry, they're into Pythagoras, and the quote, all is number. And then I was still trying to figure out what was up with the numbers. And I just finally, I don't know. I searched like the right thing on the internet in the summer of 2013. You know what? Part of what happened is I got injured right before my 30th birthday in July of 2013. And I was always really active. I always play sports, work out every day, playing all these different sports leagues, but I was injured. So like for the first time in my life, I could not work out. I couldn't. So I started reading some more. And it was in that time that I found this Manly P. Hall excerpt from his book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, about this code of numbers and words. And I
remember you saying that.
Yeah, so at first I wasn't even looking at sports, but then I just realized, like, on the ticker when I was first learning about this, I'm from Portland, right? So it was just standing out to me that every night I would just, not every night, but just so often on the bottom ticker they'd have some 37 stat with a Portland Trailblazers game. I'd be like, another guy scored 37 in a Portland game. I kept looking at it and I was like, man, 37 again, and I was like, oh, look at that, man, Portland equals 37. I was like, I need to look more into this with sports. And I was like, wait a minute. And I know San Francisco's 50. I was like, oh, snap. The team that used to be 5-0 in Super Bowls. That's my dad's team. I guarantee my dad's pulling his hair out right now. But yeah, because even though my dad, I think he understands that it's scripted, but he still gets emotionally involved in these games. He can't help himself.
I'm the same, and it's stupid. We are dumb.
It's because it's ingrained, right? It's like my dad's been loving sports since he was a small child. So he'd been a Niner fan since he was a little boy. But yeah, so that's how it happened.
Yeah, that makes sense, man, because also your background, I know you're a teacher, so it takes an intelligent person like yourself to even dwindle into that. And that's why I wonder, like, how did he get to this point to where I'm watching this shit all the time for years, and you're right majority of the time?
Sure.
And it took something to happen.
If you don't know this, before I was a teacher, I was an accountant too. So I've always been a numbers guy.
Yeah, so you had the mind to be able to tap into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. And I respect that, bro. Like, and I can't wait till you come back to Detroit. I missed you last time. But man, I love what you're doing, bro. Keep doing what the hell you're doing.
I appreciate that. And by the way, Detroit, man, you guys got that massive Masonic temple out there. I was blown away by how big that thing is.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird as fuck.
Oh my God. How did I not think of that this whole time? So if you guys the Masonic temple in Detroit is like one of the most important Masonic temples in the whole nation. And
yes, sir.
Like, God, how did I not think about that? Because Freemason 42, Freemasonry 58, and Super Bowl 58 on the 42nd day of the year, and Detroit on the 42nd parallel. I got to look into that Masonic temple and how it lines up with the Super Bowl in case the Lions
man. For real. Because everybody in the chat was saying that you predicted the Lions. I'm a life gambler in the chat. And I was like, I bet he didn't predict the Lions because nobody fucks with the Lions. And they was like, no, he did.
Well, yesterday's stream, I really laid down again how strong the Lions narrative is. It's hard to believe in the Lions, though, right? Because you're just used to them failing all the time. But it's not over yet, but I mean, it's looking good for him. And Brock Purdy's playing like Mr. Irrelevant. I just watched him throw his last 3 passes a mile over his receiver's head. He's doing
it. Looks crazy, right? I didn't think it would be like this. You know what I'm saying? And then at Masonic Temple, I remember when I watched the video when you came here, I couldn't make it. I was at work, and it was weird. Y'all looked at it, y'all tried to get in, and I didn't even realize that shit was there. The concerts that they throw here is there.
Yep.
But I didn't think of the word Masonic temple until you.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself right now because I'm just like, God, with all the Freemasonry thing, I forgot how important that may. So I got to do some research on that. There's definitely a piece there. So,
Man, that's what's up, man. It's good kicking it with you, man. Hope to see you come back and do your thing. Keep doing your thing.
are we back? Can you guys hear me again? I got a phone call and it messed up the stream. All of a sudden, he disappeared, and then I couldn't hear anything, and the screen was frozen. All right, we're back. Okay, good. All right. Sorry to the last guy from Detroit. I don't know what happened there. We got another person in the room. What's up, RH?
Yo, what up, man? Thank you for having me on, Zach.
Welcome.
So I wanted to tell you first off, man, I'm a Raider fan, man. So when the season was going and the Raiders were on the hunt, right? We beat the Chiefs on Christmas. Yo, am I on? Can you hear me, Zach? Hey, yo, can you hear me?
Sorry, man. I got cut off again. I hear you now. Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Hey, you good, man? Hey, how you doing? So, first off, Zach, thank you for what you do, man. Like I said, I'm a Raider fan, man. When the season was going on, the Raiders got on the run, beat the Chiefs, right? We got the new coach and everything. But this whole time, when you watch TV, you watch entertainment, you see State Farm everywhere. You see Mahomes everywhere. You see Kelsey everywhere. How is this legal, man? How is this legal for people to keep betting like that, man?
Well, we're ruled over by criminals, man. I mean, that's the reality of the situation, who love to mock us. I just say, how don't people catch on? That's my question. How don't people catch on?
It really makes it's heartbreaking, man. Me and my wife are big fans, man. And when I told my wife the reality of sports, it was just gut wrenching, man. It was it hurt, man. But while we're on this, man, I want to give other people a chance to hop on with you. I have a question for you, man. I'm a diehard Raider fan. Is there any way in the future you see the Raiders going to a Super Bowl?
Well, of course, man. I mean, you guys have been in Super Bowls in the past, and again, you know, your franchise has done pretty well compared to a lot of cities. But you know, Las Vegas Raiders is 61 in the most pure. We are 3 years from the 61st season. That might be a year for them. Teams don't always win when they have the numbers, but it's usually a sign that they're in for a pretty good year at least. So the Raiders might still be a few years away from bouncing back, but that'd be the first one on the map. Just looking ahead right now.
And man, that gives me hope, man. I'm happy about that. Like I said, Zach, right on, man. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you do, man. Biggest fan, man. Blessed day.
Sure, you're welcome. Thanks for the call. And by the way, for real, no, again, Gematria, forwards and backwards. Las Vegas Raiders in reverse is 101, and they became the Las Vegas Raiders in the 101st NFL season. So appreciate the call. Thank you.
Hey, something to look forward to. Thank you very much, man.
All right, yeah, take care. All right, we got Justice Oris in the chat.
Hello.
Hello.
What's good with you, Zach, man? How you doing?
Doing all right. What's up?
It's crazy because I watched your last stream and I was just placing bets for the championship games. And I remember in your last stream you was talking about Detroit potentially being in the Super Bowl because of, I forgot what was the numbers you was talking about, but that was kind of something I peeped because I felt like the narrative was too obvious for Baltimore and 49ers to go to the bowl. Because I felt like a lot of people were just paying attention to just the colors of the logos. But I kind of looked deep into it. And I remember on the stream, you talked about the Super Bowl potentially being the week 1 matchup between the Lions and the Chiefs. So I just wanted to see your opinion on that still being a chance.
Yes, and like we also mentioned, the hidden purple-red Super Bowl is the Lions and the Chiefs because the Lions' original team, the Portsmouth Spartans, wore purple. So, you know, I think that's exactly what they did. And we've been telling people, it seems like they're baiting everybody the last 2 weeks by bringing attention to the pattern in recent years of the color of the Super Bowl logo and the teams in it. It's like, are they really going to do this after they just showed it? And just even CNN's, one of their top stories this morning was, is the NFL a scripted conspiracy? Does the color logo, and then showing how if that's true, it should be Ravens and Niners. And it's like, yeah, see, they're trying to make it seem like it's
crazy
not that.
I knew like the NFL was going to throw a curveball like that to try to get everyone to think that, oh, it's going to be this when it's really not, like the scripted numbers behind the scenes to like, it's kind of really crazy. I try to tell my friends all the time that sports is scripted just for revenue purposes, and they still don't believe me.
Ratings too, storylines, right? To keep people interested. You got to have a good story to keep people hooked.
Right. Hey, but I just want to say, man, you keep doing your thing. I've been watching you since 2020 was the first time I got into your channel, and I've been watching your channel since to help me with like making parlays and bets. So thank you for your knowledge.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you for listening and being part of the community. I appreciate it.
No problem. You take care, man.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one. All right, we got Expose.
Yo, what's up, Zach? How are you, bro?
Doing well, thank you.
So I just wanted to say, I've been watching since like 2016. I'm pretty young, so like I've been following up. I kind of do just like my own research, but I kind of watch your videos too. I don't even have you on Patreon, but I had it down as the Lions and Chiefs.
Nice.
So I had a question on, like, I kind of knew because it said, like, I seen like highlights. It said 66 years since the Lions been to the finals or some shit like that, and the Lions equals 66.
Lions does equal 66. Lions equals 24. Lions also equals 30. And the Super Bowl is exactly 30 weeks after Barry Sanders' birthday. Again, for people who are new here, there are 4 base ciphers. The other Lions value, we didn't mention 69, but you can clearly see how 66, 30, and 24, at least those 3, all align for the Lions to be in the big game through arguably their most famous player. And again, just the curse of Bobby Lane was from 1958 with the Lions too. So it looks like they might finally go in Super Bowl 58.
Yeah, and also I just wanted to, you said the magic number is 113, right?
Well, we call the NBA the 113 league.
Oh, 113, sorry, 112. 112 for NFL,
that's the
right?
Super Bowl number, yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell me the record of the Lions if they received a loss? I'm pretty sure they're like 0-11 or something like that.
Wait. In what?
I seen today, like just on the news, it was just like the Lions are 0-11. I'm not sure in what, but I was assuming that like they would get a win today.
So the Lions right now, their playoff record is 9-13 all time. Last week, so Tampa's the 8-1-3 area code, and last week they faced Tampa 8-13 in the playoffs, but then they got the win to 9-13. So I'm not sure what the 0-11 stat is.
I'm gonna look at it right now just to like double confirm. Because that's what I was reading, and then I was just like, maybe this has something to do with it. And also, what you're saying about the original name of the Lions as well. And in Detroit, isn't that big ass Baphomet statue there too?
That might be right about the Baphomet statue. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it might have been there in the past, at least for a little while.
Yeah. 66 years, haven't won a road playoff game, and have gone 0-11. Okay, so that's what it was.
Okay. I overlooked that stat. I didn't have that one, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
66 is the 11th triangular number if they can end it right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else? Today does have 1 date numerology, so I guess they could get a 1 in the win column there. So
yeah. And also last thing, I remember a video you dropped, and like it was kind of touchy. Do you kind of remember like the topic, a discussion towards that video?
Yeah. I've done so many videos. I don't know. Touchy.
You were talking about the Super Bowl, and you're talking about like events could happen at the Super Bowl, and you're being contacted. Yeah. Is that like? can I speak upon that, or
Yeah, go ahead.
do you think like something would happen at this due to like the Vatican's birthday and like just all the shit that's going on in the world that kind of correlates with it?
I think at this point, if something goes down that day, it's more likely to be someplace other than the Super Bowl. I'm glad, for example, it's not going to be Ravens and 49ers. Then I would have been more concerned about something happening at the Super Bowl since that was the blackout Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if something goes down in the world that day or close to it the day before, the day after, in light of the whole war thing. And I mean, today's story is that there's pressure on Joe Biden to get more involved in the war in the Middle East right now after the deaths of the soldiers. For people who missed it, here, you guys, this knowledge is about more than predicting sports. Please go watch my video from December 29th, 2022. That was the day Netanyahu came back to power in Israel. I explained why there'd be a big war ritual in Israel in 2023, and it would be sometime around Yale turning 322 years old. And again, the way it went down, the war began October 7th. Israel declared war October 8th. Yale turned 322 years old October 9th. I bring up the 322 thing because today's story is that for the first time in this war, U.S. soldiers were killed, and they said 3 U.S. soldiers were killed at Tower 22.
Yep.
And 322 is a biblical number. The Syria is part of the story. Syria is a biblical place. It's the biblical lands over there. So, and again, the lions. I mean, the lion's a big symbol with Judaism, the Lion of Judah. So we'll see. But yeah, since the Ravens, because the scary team for being in the Super Bowl was the Ravens, right? Because in the Sum of All Fears, it's a Ravens game it's a Baltimore football game where the stadium explodes. In the Batman movie where the stadium explodes, it's Raven Stall doing the kickoff. And then in the movie Black Sunday about the Super Bowl being attacked by a Palestinian terrorist group. By the way, Black Sunday came out in 1977, which was the 58th NFL season.
Yeah, that's the one I was.
Won the Edgar Allan Poe Award, just like how, again, the Ravens are named after Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven. But what is interesting about Edgar Allan Poe is the war in Israel did begin on Edgar Allan Poe's death anniversary this year, October 7th, and it was his 174th death anniversary, and Baltimore Ravens equals 174. And again, Tomlin got his 174th win the very next day over the Ravens, and the Steelers are facing Ravenstall, the kicker, in the Batman movie where the stadium explodes when it shows a box section 322. So, yeah, I hope nothing happens, but with the Ravens not being in the game, I feel like Super Bowl will probably be safe. So,
well, I mean, like, I'm from where they leaked the news. I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
Okay.
So, like, do you think they would even want to correlate like such things in teams, or like sometimes do you think they would just throw it in like kind of subliminally, like kind of like how they've been doing, right? Because they leaked the Super Bowl and they said it was going to be the Ravens versus the 49ers.
But see, that wasn't a real leak. And just like everyone who called me about that, I said, they keep doing that. They've done that like every year now for the first 5 years, saying, oh, this person screwed up and showed us the Super Bowl. And every year what they've put out has been wrong. So people called me about that. And I said, this feels like the same thing they've done the last 5 years.
Yeah, but it's just like they're doing this on purpose.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
And it's just kind of weird because I'm like from here and they're doing it here. you know? Yeah.
Well, you're a big city on the West Coast.
Yeah. I am.
I think Vancouver's on the same 122nd meridian that Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco are on. So.
Oh, fuck. But yeah, it was nice chatting to you, Zach. I always tune in. Long-time supporter. Love from Canada. We're with you. We're right behind you, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, bro. Take care.
All right, take care. All right, we're getting some circus catches. What's the call here, though? We got a crazy catch on the deflection by Ayuk. We got... The penalty must be on Detroit. I can't hear what he's saying, but the crowd's cheering, so it's got to be on Detroit. So they're probably going to get the ball at the 1. Again, this game is not over. But if you got the Lions with the points, that's looking pretty good right now. At least we'll see. Let's go out to Billy D. Willie.
What's up, Zach?
What's up?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, I've been following you for a while, man. This is the first time I ever talked to you on phone or camera, man.
Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I'm not real good with like adding and subtracting numbers and stuff like that, man.
But you understand what I'm showing?
Yeah, for sure, man. You woke me up because I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. You woke me up on the video when the Cavs won.
When they came back from 3-1 on the real King James's birthday?
Yes, sir. That's when you woke me up, man.
Okay. We were outside the Cleveland Stadium in 2022 for a day, and there was a group of gentlemen coming by. We told them that we blew their mind. They were like, what? Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. And ever since then, man, I still watch the games and everything, but it's like seeing your work, I know it's rigged, man. Like I'm a Ohio State Buckeyes fan, you know, and it's crazy, man. I don't understand it.
Yeah, Ohio State, CJ Stroud this year starts it off in the playoffs, gets a win over the Ohio team, the Browns.
Exactly. And I was kind of like, you know, because I'm a Browns fan, but I was like, man, I'm rooting for my Buckeye. But at the same time, I see where, you know, the riggings come because it's like they got the Texas defense playing like the Browns defense, vice versa, you know.
Exactly. And by the way, your Ohio State team, I'd say they threw the game the other year against Georgia at the end. They had that game pretty much put away.
Oh, yeah. Man, I was so mad, man. But I just knew, you know, kicking a field goal in the dome, how do a field goal sway like that, you know?
Exactly.
You know, it's just crazy, man. But
For
yeah, I
people,
was
go
oh, my
hold
bad.
on, let me and then go ahead. Lamar Jackson has a video on YouTube. You guys can look this up. Lamar Jackson is watching the replay of a Ravens game with no wind because you can see the flags aren't moving at all. And he's like, how did the ball move like that? Because they would have won the game, but then at the last second, the ball just slices so hard and misses, and they lose the game. He's like, how does that even happen? And it's like, yeah, how does that happen? I mean, there's no wind, and then just a crazy movement on the ball at the last moment for Justin Tucker to miss the kick. You can't tell me they're not using technology to ensure these outcomes. So,
Yes, I do remember seeing that. Yes,
mm-hmm.
it's crazy. Did the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions, did they ever meet up in the AFL championships back in the days?
I'd have to look that up. I don't know. That's a good question.
Because you know they like one of the few first teams to come in the league.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
I'm going to look that up. That's a good question because there is stuff pre-NFL era that definitely matters. It's just like the Eagles when they won that Super Bowl in the 98th NFL season. You go back and look at all their championships pre-Super Bowl era. They were all about 98. So the patterns have been going on a long time.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You know, I mean, I really don't care who wins. It's a bunch of BS, you know, but all I know is, man, I'll never see the Cleveland Browns win the championship before I die, you know. and I wasn't
I don't know,
born when
man.
Jim
Now that
Brown
Jim
was.
Brown died, it might not be as far off as you'd think.
I mean, you could be right.
Yeah. I mean, Browns had one of their best seasons in forever after Jim Brown dies. And again, Jim Brown equals 104, dead right before the 104th NFL season. RIP.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, man. Hey, Zach, man, I'm glad you took my call, man. It was good chatting with you tonight, brother.
All right. Good talking to you, too. Yeah, call us back sometime.
Yes, sir, for sure, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
You too. Yep, bye.
All right, we got the Atomic Truth in the room. What's up, Atomic Truth?
What's up, Zach?
How you doing?
I don't know how to hang up, Zach.
Oh, you don't know to hang up? Oh, he got it. He figured it out. All right.
Yeah, he figured it out. Okay. So I do have a question before I get into what I'm about to say. So when it comes to like gematria and whatnot, like all the different ciphers, is there a huge significance to like the numbers match? I know there's like the 4 base ciphers and whatnot, but is there like significance to like something matching in like multiple ciphers?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A gentleman in the community today loves Zay Flowers for a touchdown because Zay Flowers' full name is the exact same in all 4 ciphers as if January 28th, if you spell it out. And that's not typically how I decode, but again, that's why I love when people learn from me and apply their own methods. And he was like, I'm like, that could make a lot of sense. And, you know, Zay Flowers was a huge storyline today. He had the big touchdown, but he also had the big fumble as he nearly crossed the into for a second touchdown. But yeah, so Zay Flowers' full name. Again, you got to look. It's like Xavier, whatever his middle name is. Flowers is the exact same in all 4 ciphers as January 28th. And again, like we were saying with the Lions, Lions still got to finish off this game and make it. But the interesting thing about the Lions is in the base ciphers they have 24, like the year, like they're on 24 points right now. They have 30, like how the Super Bowl is exactly 30 weeks after Barry Sanders' birthday, and they got 66, like it's been 66 years since they were in a championship game. So we'll see.
Yeah, because I think it's probably been a while since I think I've called him before and mentioned this before, but just seeing how ever since I like found this out in the Gematria calculator about Patrick Mahomes, how his name for if you type in Mahomes and you have Messiah, Mahomes and Messiah match in like a bunch of different
Yeah,
ciphers.
it does. And it's like Messi the Messiah. And it's like, Miami's in the NBA Finals this year. And then Messi the Messiah is signing in Miami at age 36 when Miami equals 36. And 666 is the 36 triangular number. And, like the Beast is like, emulates the Messiah. So, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things. And they're always paying tribute to the Beast in these sports leagues if you pay attention. So...
yeah, it's just like, it just really shows me how the fact that that's even the case, and you just see how the Chiefs have been ever since Mahomes has gotten on the Chiefs. They've just been winning, and they've always been in the race when it comes to getting to the Super Bowl. Seems like every year since he's even like arrived there and like took the starting position as
right.
the
Like the
starting quarterback.
He's like the Messiah of the NFL right now, indeed.
Yeah, like you said earlier, how he's like pretty much the new Tom Brady. You touch him and then 15-yard penalty.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even touch him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he pretty much does the same thing Tom Brady would do too. Whenever he gets touched, he would start like kind of making a fit about it and crying or whatever. A lot of people have been saying that. It's just crazy how all of it just is like just matches together.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, Mahomes has that Gematria 74, like Messiah, like Jesus, like cross, like parables, like Gematria, like English, that very special number 74. And
it's just crazy because I'll probably say like 3 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I found out about your channel. I knew about Gematria like before your channel, but I never really got into it really. But I knew it existed, and I never really looked into it. But once I saw your channel and seeing how like almost every day you would break down stuff in the news and everything and show the numerology and how all of it just correlates, and it's like a game they're doing every single day. It's just like I don't see how anyone can really deny this stuff. It's just crazy when I see people try to like play it off as a coincidence. Like, it's a coincidence. It's like how can it just be a coincidence every single day? It's just like year after year. I mean, you have a catalog. I don't really know how long you've been on. I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I mean, ever since I saw you from like 3 years ago, you've been showing the consistency for the past few
I've been
years. I
doing it
watched
for a decade, and it's sad that YouTube took down my former channels. And for people who are newer here, the sad thing is I used to get big views. Like my video on Super Bowl 51, they cut it off at like 900 and some thousand views, never got any more, but I'm sure the video really got over 1 million views. And back then, all my videos used to get over 100,000 views. So it just in the recent era, it's crazy censorship. But yeah, and it's sad that the whole catalog of videos from all then that Google's deleted them all. But I've been doing this for a decade. Again, you can look up the article USA Today wrote on me January of 2016, 8 years ago, because that was the year. 2016 was my big year for people who weren't here. I called every sports future correct that year, and from the start of the season. And that year, I explained early in the year why it was going to be the Broncos over the Panthers, and what it had in that, why that year the Super Bowl was in the Bay Area where the Black Panther Party was founded, and what Cam Newton had to do with Huey P. Newton founded the party. But yeah, USA Today wrote a hit piece on me for exposing that. And that 2016 was a big year because I also predicted Prince's death that year, sadly. And
wow.
Yeah, Prince died on 4/21, and he had the hit song "I Would Die for You" with the number 4 and the letter U, and used the 21st letter. His ex-girlfriend from Purple Rain died the day of the Grammys that year, the 58th Grammys, when Purple Rain equals 58. And then next thing you knew, Prince was dead on 4/21, the Queen's birthday. So.
Oh yeah, I've also noticed that too. Like when these celebrities, like they sometimes predict their deaths. And like you think maybe they're like faking their death, a lot of them, and they're just like off somewhere on an island or some crap. I mean,
Well, that rapper Juice World, he had the tweet from a couple years before he supposedly died, saying that he was gonna blow up and then fake his death. So
oh yeah, I remember that Juice WRLD. Yeah, he did post that. So it's just kind of.
I have an old post on that. If you go back and look, the gematria of his whatever social media account that was, if it was Instagram or Twitter, I can't remember, but however he spelled out his handle for that online, the gematria of that is it lines up the exact way the day of his death. Like, do you remember what day Juice WRLD died?
Man,
whatever day it
couldn't tell
is,
you.
whatever is the same day number is exactly what the gematria is of his handle where he made that tweet. So
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look that up after I get off this call. That's crazy. Yeah, it's just I don't see how anyone can deny this stuff. It's just too obvious. You have to like even if you have half a brain cell remaining, it should be pretty obvious to see that this stuff there's something to this. You
I
can't
feel
deny
the same way. I feel the same way.
But yeah, that's all I really wanted to do was just point that out and just just talk about all that. It's just crazy how people deny this. I just don't get it. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. It's waking people up, and hey, it's good to have you putting out this truth.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you have a good one. All right, let's see. We got Supreme Mathematics. What's up, Supreme?
Peace, man. How you doing? I was trying to decode that Indiana and LA connection concerning about the lady that just sued Donald Trump for 88 million.
E. Jean Carroll, yeah.
Yeah. Well, here is a high school called Carroll High School. And
is it Jesuit? I imagine it's Jesuit. A lot of Jesuit high schools are called Carroll after John Carroll.
Well, it's definitely in a rich area, so
it's Jesuit. You go to the rich areas of towns. It's always Catholic schools and Jesuits. Out here I don't live in Seattle anymore, but Seattle's got a suburb called Medina, and they got a private Catholic school. Like, I was a substitute teacher one year. That school's like the Vatican. Like the walls have gold on it and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Go ahead.
That's crazy. Because what she was by her suing Donald Trump for 88 million. I started to come up with the notion with the mayor here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Mayor Tom Henry. He's in his 5th term as the current mayor of this city, and his wife just died from pancreatic cancer. And so he just launched this big project. If you ever get a chance to look it up, it's called Project Zodiac. It is a Google-based headquarters of Google, but they're going to put it here in Fort Wayne for a very high employment. But it was actually the spot where he was supposed to put a new jail there, and he ended up the NAACP ended up protesting it, and he ended up moving it to another area. But the area that he moved it to, he owned that also. And he has a very high tie with Detroit. They had tried to put him on a scandal based off of him taking private money from private entities of Detroit. And he was basically saying that, I'm backed up by 9 unions. And that's where you have like Tom Henry being pretty much a private mogul in this city. But to me, when he had ended up getting his wife ended up getting dying. It was just like 8 days ago she had died, and that's when. So if you add it all together, it was 88. 88 million. His wife died 8 days ago, and then the church that he put her in to get a funeral was called the Precious Blood Catholic Church.
How perfect. Crazy, man.
Oh man, but I ain't gonna hold you too long, man. Zach, man, you my guy, man. I would but pretty much, man, we just sitting back watching these games, man. These little Illuminati ritual games.
Just see McCaffrey, number 23, rush in the 23rd points of the game.
Hey, Zach, I'm his mom.
Oh, well, shout out to having a good mom.
Man, I ain't gonna hold you too long, man. I'm gonna get back with you on your Patreon, man. You have a blessed day, man. Peace, man.
I appreciate the support. Thank you to you and your mom. You have a good day too.
Indeed.
Right, okay. So yeah, you guys, okay, so McCaffrey got his 24th touchdown with his first touchdown in this game. We thought he'd get his 24th, right? Lions 24, like the game's tied 24-24. The 24 touchdown of the season, that is. And now he has 25 touchdowns for the season. But yeah, he rushed in the 23rd points, and now it's tied at 24-24 apiece, the big Lions number, and here we are in the battle of 2024, and we'll see what happens. See what happens. We got Chris Game on. Chris Gamez. Oh, snap. I hit the wrong button.
You think it'll finally get to it?
All right, what's up, Chris?
Oh, it's Chris
How you
Gauntlet.
doing, man?
You didn't do any wrong. But I was just saying, one of the guys from like 2 calls ago, he was mentioning statistics, like stats and sports. Well, I was like looking into something else because right now I'm jobless and I've applied to over like 100 jobs within the last month, and they're all urgently hiring. Well, I looked into it because I was like, I'm trying to spam these people, these companies' numbers. Like, hey, can you hire me? No one's picking up the phone. Nothing. So I'm like, why is this? And then I start reading like reviews and people in the same situation who have talked to other people. And I know this sounds like he said, she said, but I just started reading and they're talking about, they talk to somebody who's like in the higher ups and corporate and all that stuff, and they just have to give out, my bad, what am I saying? They just have to give like to whoever is incorporated into them, like whoever's how do I say it? Whoever, like,
Oh, they got to give the jobs to the people who already work there, but they have to post the jobs publicly, legally, even though those people don't really have a shot at it. They got to hire internally. Is that what you're saying?
well, not so much that. They have to make it look like they're urgently hiring, so they can get like sponsored and known for statistics wise, just for like BS, just to say, hey, America is thriving, like the job industry is thriving here and
Oh,
there,
sure. Just
just to
making
build up those numbers.
maintaining perceptions, even though it's not reality. I see what you're saying.
Pretty much. And another thing was with like the whole border thing happening, like the pandemic went down, millions of deaths and stuff like that. I don't know if it's millions, but however many deaths, well, to put us back to sleep, so we're not realizing, all the people entering is just like building that number back up. So it just plateaued.
Oh, hold up. Just because we're talking football, they just put up a stat on the screen that when these teams met in the championship back in the 50s, the Lions, or no, the Niners were up 24-7 at halftime and ended up losing the game. So this time the Lions were up 24-7 with the 24-7 establishment day. Wow, they just put up that stat on the screen. So anyway, man, I'm sorry to hear that, but don't give up the search. You'll find what you need, and
Well, no, it was just like to put that information out there, like so you can try to connect things here and there, like when you dig deeper, stuff like that. If you didn't
don't give
already
up.
know.
You'll find the right spot. So
I appreciate that, man. Thanks for inviting me in.
Yeah, welcome. All right, you take care. But yeah, if you guys are looking at the screen, they just put that up. I missed the date because it was small print, and I was listening to him too. But it was 1950 something. Whenever that game was, it said Niners led 24-7 and ended up losing. Oh man, they love to mock everybody. They're like, and this year it's oh my god, man. 19. Oh, that was the 57 game. 66 years ago. Man, it's just how they get away with these scripts. How they get away with these scripts, man. Looks like it's going to go 24-24 in the fourth quarter. We'll see. It's nice to be in our situation. We can't lose today, but it can be a heartbreaker for Detroit. That's what they're used to, man. They're used to heartbreak if they do it again. I bet you anything my dad turned off the game and doesn't even know what's going on right now. He's a huge 49er fan, and that's what he does. When his team is down a lot, he'll turn it off. He can't watch anymore. He might be missing the whole comeback. Oh, that's good for him. Do something else. So we don't have anybody else in the room right now. Again, you guys, we haven't had anyone come on and debate. I know my troll's out there screen recording. And again, hey, instead of making another disingenuous video, come on and win the debate, man. Come on, you got legions of fans supposedly in my comments all the time. They're like, I can't wait for his video. He's going to expose you. It's like, come on and expose me, man. Come on. Let's see if you can expose me. Let's see what it looks like in a live debate. See how it looks. Where's all the trolls that are always in the chat repping this guy? One of you guys come on. But don't expose yourself on camera again. You guys did that in March Madness last year. You guys are a bunch of creep shows. Come on here and debate. Always leaving these comments. Zachary K. Hubbard's a fraud. Come on and tell me how I'm a fraud. The way I see it is I revealed the scripts and the way they script the games and have used the knowledge to help people pad their pockets for a decade. And don't forget, I was here for free, giving out sports picks every day for 5 years and helping people win a lot in that time. And what's sad is we used to hit at a higher percentage back in the day. So that's why I feel bad. It's like now I'm charging and we don't do as well. But the reason we don't do as well as we used to, we still do well, is because the word's out. They've learned. They can't be as consistent with the scripts as they used to. They know people are catching on to the game. The NFL this year having to do the NFL scripts advertising. Don't tell me we're not having an impact. It's never happened before where the NFL season opener was the Super Bowl. That'd be a first ever if that happened. It's never happened before. Oh, shout out to the super chatters. We got a Slick Nick one who said thank you for everything, and shout out to John Mendoza. Always generous. He said thank you, Zach, for showing us the way. Grateful. Appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen, for being generous. So, come on, man. Who's going to be the first one to step up and debate? I know somebody's out there watching that's a hater. Someone who thinks it's all a coincidence. Come on and bring on that point of view. I don't just want it to be nothing but support on this stream. We got to have a little debate. We got to hear the other side of the equation. You know? Here, I'll talk about the other side of the equation that I see. You know, again, we got to go back to this topic. I used to think stuff like this was silly. Oh, they're putting it up again. Largest comeback in NFC Championship history, 17 points. Damn, I didn't read it all, but I saw the Falcons were involved in that, like how the Falcons gave up the biggest. Remember when the Falcons gave up the 25-point lead on 2/5 to Brady? Falcons equals 25. It was the 97th NFL season, the 25th prime. They moved the touchback to 25 yards. My video on that Super Bowl, because I put it out before, it was back in the free days. I guaranteed Brady was going to win the Super Bowl, and it was going to be all about 25. Bill Belichick also equals 97. That was the 97th NFL season. But, man, I so wish that Google would put that video back up so people could just read the comments because it was brutal. At halftime, that video got slaughtered. There was like literally 50,000 comments on that video because it had 1 million views. Back in the day when we could actually get views. Now YouTube just shadow bans us to infinity so nobody can even find out what's going on. But like literally 50,000 comments and just nothing but hate. And like, oh, what happened to your guarantee? Brady's getting waxed. Gematria is bullshit. You're a fucking idiot. After the game was over, no comments, right? There's like 50,000 comments at halftime, all hate and trash talk. Nobody came back and said anything when Brady won the game. So, and let's not forget how Brady won that game. Let's just go back and remember the way that game ended. I still remember it. Julio Jones of the Falcons catches the ball. Falcons are up 8 points. Julio Jones catches the ball somewhere around the Patriots' 25-yard line. It was somewhere around there. 20-yard line maybe, down at the Patriots' 20, up 8, maybe not even 5 minutes left on the clock, somewhere around 5 minutes. Come on, 1st and 10, already in field goal range, up 8 points. It's game over. What does Atlanta do? I mean, look, listen, you're an NFL coach. You know what to do in this situation. You're running the ball. You're making sure you keep the clock running. You're getting a field goal. You're going to go up 2 scores. You're going to be up at least 11. I forget who the Falcons kicker was back then, but he was money. Plus that game was in the dome. He was going to make the field goal. They could have easily gone up 11, probably milked the clock down to around the 2-minute mark, been up. What did the Falcons do instead? Falcons drop back to pass. Incomplete. Stop the clock. Falcons drop back to pass. Huge sack. Falcons holding. Next thing you know, it's 3rd and 33. They're like back at the 50-yard line out of field goal range. You're like, what? They haven't used like a second of clock. Oh, it's just like, how? I mean, like, seriously? What is this coaching staff over here? And people think the NFL is real. I mean, it was just like when Brady beat the Seahawks, right? Marshall, all year, the Seahawks had not a single time had the Seahawks passed the ball on the goal line. They just ran it all year because they had Marshawn Lynch, the unstoppable running back from a yard out. You can't stop that man. His legs are too powerful. Not to mention back when the Packers needed a running back, they could have claimed Lynch off waivers, but instead they let him fall to the Seahawks. That's a whole other story. But anyway, imagine Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch. That would have been the duo. But remember, the Packers didn't pick him up because they said they didn't like Marshawn Lynch's attitude. Well, they must not like winning Super Bowls, actually, to let Marshawn. And why was Marshawn Lynch on waivers anyway? But anyway, never forget. The date was February 1st, 2-1. Russell Wilson throws the ball, his 21st pass of the game it was, on the down 2nd and 1 on the date, 2-1, gets intercepted by number 21. Brady wins his 21st playoff game, becomes 4-2 in Super Bowls over Washington, the 42nd state. I mean, come on, man. Brady should have never even won a Super Bowl, as far as I'm concerned. His first Super Bowl, 2001, the Tuck rule. I mean, come on, man. Stuff is a joke. It's a joke. Shout out to Con Diesel 90. He says, much love, my friend. Thanks for all you provide. You're very welcome. I appreciate your generosity. Shout out to Amawan Malak. Good to see the name. Zach, aren't you tired of seeing Kelsey? I know, man. Isn't everybody tired of seeing Travis Kelsey wide open? They say he's the greatest tight end of all time, maybe. He did have a nice catch today on that must. I got to give it to Kelsey. That was a nice play. That was one of those amazing plays. Mahomes, like, flipped the ball out of there. It was crazy. Kelsey had to lay all the way out. I mean, it was nice. I like how they had Mahomes like an infielder in baseball fielding ground balls all day with this game, too. I was like, is this part of the joke to snap him the ball like he's a baseball player like his dad? But yeah, Travis Kelsey, though, man, how's he always wide open? Like, if you're a defensive coordinator and you know Mahomes is going to go to Kelsey all day, why is he always wide open? It's just like when Brady, I remember Brady and Wes Welker, man. Wes Welker, this little guy, the great white hope, just always wide open on the field. Everyone, like, playing 10 yards off Wes Welker. It's 3rd and 15. They're playing a prevent defense. Wes Welker picks up the first down. Tom Brady's whole career is little crossing routes for 70-yard touchdowns. As I say that, Deebo Samuel's catching the crossing route, but it's not going for 70 yards. 3rd and 20, like the Matt Ryan situation. Shout out to Chosen93 with the super sticker. Oh, we got somebody in the room. We got Big Money in the room. What's up, Big Money?
Hey, what's going on, Zach? Yeah, we got that Ayuk touchdown, his 28th career touchdown on the 28th.
Yeah, that one looked not bad too. So nice.
Yeah, we didn't get the MVS touchdown, but he did make the big play at the end. So, you know,
that was the storyline. He's
Yeah.
talking about the player for the Chiefs, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 174th pick of the draft, circus catch to put the game away against the Baltimore Ravens, the 170-14.
Yeah, I mean, this whole shit is a joke. Like, if anyone who's part of this community subscribed to your videos for $11, we had called all this shit happening. Like, we said everyone's got a hedge with the Chiefs because it was just too obvious that they were going to win. And the whole game, all of a sudden, the Ravens just, forgot how to play football. And, You know, Mahomes. They kept showing Mahomes, Taylor Swift, Kelsey, and going back to your point on Kelsey, he wears number 87, and he's born on the day leaving 87 days in the year.
What's
It's
tight
just
end equal
one
in Gematria? What's tight end
is
equal?
tight end is 87, and that's why they all wear that number.
Exactly.
And then, you know, you have Cat Williams. We did that story. He said that he's the 201st audition for Money Mike. It's like, really? That's an odd number to mention. Like, what are the like? How do you know you're the 201st? Like,
Man, you know
it's
what Cat Williams' real name is? It's Cap Williams. That dude is all cap. I can't stand that guy. I don't think he's funny. I saw his interview on Willie D, and he's talking about how he was accepted to all these colleges at age 12, but he chose to live homeless on the street. And he lived out on the street by himself at age 12, and for several years after that, and he made his living just stealing people's car radios. I was like,
yeah,
okay, come on,
it's a fucking joke. And then Cat is born on the day leaving 120 days left in the year. Again, that's Illuminati. Like it's like, how do people fall for this stupid shit that hits our screen, and you know everyone gets programmed and you know loses their minds over you know what a celeb says. I'm just like, guys, these people are under oath. They follow orders. They're here to distract and put everyone in a stupor. They don't want you to be focused. Like they want the world to remain unserious so they can continue to get away with all the trash that they continue to feed us. It's every single day. Same with the NFL. They got everyone, you know, hooked to the screens and stuff. And I literally today, I didn't even watch the Ravens and the Chiefs game. I went away and I was just like, I put in, you know, I put in like three separate bets. I got the Zay Flowers touchdown, which Slick Nick called. Like we were in that Patreon. I didn't even watch the game. And he scored a touchdown. I'm just like, no surprise, January 28th, and Zay Flowers' his birth name, it fucking matched all four
yeah,
ciphers.
player props were in the opening minutes. Travis Kelce, first touchdown of the game. We love Kelce for the touchdown. He got his 93rd career receiving touchdown. The Raven equals 93, and he got his 19th in the postseason on the 19-day numerology. Last week, he got 2 touchdowns to get to 18. Bills is 18. Again, you just follow the numbers. I mean, you're not going to hit them all, but you'll hit a lot, and the good number rituals usually come through. Slick Nick had the great observation on Zay Flowers. He caught a bomb for a touchdown right after Travis Kelce's. So, yeah.
Yeah, and last year you called Kelsey getting a TD in the Super Bowl because he was at 86 career touchdowns and he was going to get his 87th in that game against the
Oh, that was too
Eagles.
easy. That was just
Yeah,
such. And by the way,
yeah,
for quarterbacks, I split in the first game. I thought Lamar Jackson would throw 1 touchdown in today's game, which he did because that was
he
the
did. Yep,
first of his career. Championships 131, and I thought Mahomes would toss 3 today to get to 41 in the playoffs. But I did mention, I said, he might have to wait for 41 for the Super Bowl because it's a Baltimore number and a Super Bowl number. So I missed on the Mahomes one. Did the Niners just get a pick? That was a crazy play. Whose ball is that? Is it Lions ball or Niners? I guess it goes to the Lions. All right, but go ahead.
and you know Thursday, Saturday, like every time we do these games, it's like it's like they're telling us, you know, by the numbers, like, hey, this guy's gonna score, he's gonna get yards, this team is gonna, you know, cover, you know, for some stupid shit. Like the one I really hit on this year, the Monday night when the Titans after Frank Wycheck passed, and then Tommy
Oh, yeah, man.
DeVito.
2 big double upset, huge upsets. Yeah, that was our best play.
Yeah, I hit that. I swear to God, I hit money line for both of them because you told us in this Patreon in your video that, hey, these are prime upsets tonight. Everyone play this, and I played it, and the payout was like $480. I was like, seriously, it's a fucking joke.
The Giants were what, a 5.5 point dog, and the Titans were like a 14.5 point dog, and they both had great narratives to win, especially right after the Wycheck death connected the Titans.
Yep.
And the Giants game with backup DeVito was synced with Danny DeVito. It was just too perfect, man.
Yep, and then we also had the Dick Butkus death when the Bears won.
That was crazy how synced that was. So you guys, we talk about the base ciphers. There's something called Jewish Gematria, and what's crazy is Jewish Gematria gives you bigger number values. I can't remember what the exact numbers were, but whatever the Jewish Gematria of Richard Butkus is, and whatever the Jewish Gematria of Dick Butkus is, That's exactly what the Bears record became as a franchise by winning that Thursday primetime game, their first one of the season, the day of Dick Butkus' death. The win number match with Richard Butkus, the loss number match with Dick Butkus. That was another nice big payout. And again, that's the kind of stuff that they do that just blows my mind. I'm like, how doesn't every Chicago Bears fan see this today? I mean, how did the Bears fans see it when they won 46-10 with the revolutionary 4-6 defense? And then you learn Gematria, you're like, shit, Chicago equals 46.
Yeah, and it's like I tell people all the time with all these sports leagues, none of this is real. It's all an illusion. Like we like these guys are under control of why these games are being played, what plays have to be run, what they have to do in order to fulfill, their side of the bargain. It's so sick, and I don't understand how people can, worship these, athletes, go to these games. Like, we call this every single week, every single year. And it's like, come on, guys. Like, I don't understand how you think any of these guys are. It's all manufactured bullshit. That's what it is.
Every year with the NBA, we're showing how they're syncing up stuff with Jordan's birthday every year. I mean, this year was like maybe the most blatant example ever. 23 days before his birthday, the two teams facing his former team become 23 and 23. It's like, come on.
And the one thing that sickened me, like, it's just so gross. When after the Nuggets won the championship, the dude's father dies, and then this coach for the Warriors dies. Yeah, his father. Like, it's just like these guys are giving up family members, their dignity, their honor, just everything, just so they can have, millions of dollars and fame. Even it's so gross. I'm like,
but it's also like a lot of them are born into it, right? It's like they're born into it. So in a way, you might say a lot of them might not even have a choice because they've been born into this. It's like it's ancestors, and now they're just a part of it.
Yeah, like they could be monarch athletes, training on a base or something. It's just like unbelievable. And you called the 201 for the Celtics and Nuggets game after the Jokic's boy died, his mentor. So it's like
the Celtics were 20-0 at home, and then they died, or they lose their first game to the Nuggets, who won the finals last year, becoming 20-1 at home, a lot like 201. And again, the coach who died for the Warriors, the assistant coach, there's a lot to that, but he used to coach Jokic. They're both from Serbia, and it had a lot to do with 201, his death. So we're like, okay, now is this going to happen? And boom, sure enough, it did.
Yeah, and I mean, just right now, I'm not even watching, but the Lions and the Niners, and I'm here, like, I have, like, no rooting interest in this or even care what the fuck happens, but I told myself, I said, okay, they let one road team win, and even though the Niners got down and now they're back in it and they have the lead, I said, there's no way the NFL is going to let two road teams in the same weekend win. I just can't see it happening. If it does, I'll eat crow and, I'll take the L like a man, but I just don't see how people, just have this vested interest in thinking that this stuff is actual competition. It's all garbage.
The athleticism is real, but the games are a script, and that's what's frustrating is people are worshiping names like Brady, and it's like, come on, man, if the league was real, like, come on, man. Can you ever imagine in a real football game that Tom Brady's team would beat Michael Vick's team? I can't. I used to make this point all the time when I was younger. I was like, how does Brady have all day in the pocket, no matter who his offensive line is, no matter how many guys are banged up on his line? This guy's got all day in the pocket. Almost every other QB in the NFL is running for their life on every play, including Michael Vick. It's just, and Lamar Jackson's the closest thing to Vick today. And it's like he forgot how to run today. Like Lamar Jackson wasn't moving the ball. I mean, he had a few runs, but there was one play. There were several plays. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole thing with black quarterbacks and the Native American symbolism, it's to the point now where I'm just like, like I tell people, Steve McNair, Cam Newton, Jalen Hurts, and Donovan McNabb, they all lost in the Super Bowl. They didn't let Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham, or Warren Moon win either. And these guys were all super freak athletes with arms of, like unreal arms. Like, people have to understand that, like, the NFL is a fucking business. They have to fucking manufacture storylines, you know, put people to their god status and stuff, and they just humiliate people. Like, it's like they mock you into thinking like, oh, do you really think these guys are better than, say a Warren Moon? Warren Moon was like one of the fucking greatest QBs I ever saw, and the fact that he didn't win a ring and guys like fucking Troy Aikman won, like, seriously, it's like it's such a joke. Like, I don't know how people buy this stuff.
Here,
It's
just to make
ridiculous.
another point, since the Cowboys are the most popular team in the NFL, for all the Cowboys fans out there, I want you to look up the NFL Skills Challenge from years ago, where Andy Dalton and Dak Prescott were both in it. If you've never seen this, you got to watch it. Andy Dalton was lights out, just bombing the ball down the field, hitting every target, making it look so easy. Dak Prescott was so embarrassing to watch. He could not hit the closest targets. He could not get the ball far enough down the field, even close to where the targets were. I mean, there's just, in no world would you ever be like, I'm going to have Dak Prescott be my starting quarterback over Andy Dalton. It would never. I mean, it just wasn't even comparable, you guys. If
Yeah,
you
and
not
then
seen what I'm talking about, you have to watch it, because it's just like, it's not even comparable. It's a guy who's a clear F versus a guy who's a clear straight A. And
exactly,
again,
and
Andy Dalton was backing up Dak Prescott. That doesn't happen if the games are real. I'm sorry.
exactly, and Dak gave up 2 family members so he could get his
In
big
the
money
same
deal.
ritual, Dak lost his mom and his brother both in 113 rituals when Dallas equals 113.
Exactly. He's a fucking disgusting human. And you try to tell Cowboy fans or anyone this, they look at you like, you talk bad about a family member of theirs. And I'm just like,
Right. People love
it's so embarrassing how people like, they just want to gloss over this stuff, and they think it's all, organic, and it's just, oh, we have to feel bad. Like, no, this is a satanic bullshit. This is all satanic bullshit that they're feeding us.
It is.
But I don't.
With regards to mockery, let's not forget when Brady won his 7th ring. That was the year that they changed the NFL playoff format to 7 teams from each conference. And that was the year we went perfect in the playoffs. I've only gone perfect in the playoffs that one year. And it was because it was so obvious. Just everything was about 7 in those playoffs. So
Yeah. No, but that was it. I know other people want to get in here, so I'll get off. But thanks again for all
just
your
so
hard
you
work
don't have
this year.
anybody else for other people who want to join, the link to join is the top pinned comment. Feel free to join. We don't have anybody else in the back room right now if you got more to say.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know that on your live calls and stuff, I know people are waiting, so I try to
People prefer
go
to
as
call.
fast as
Prefer
possible.
not to join the link. Yeah, whenever I do it this way, it's never as popular. But we don't have anyone. Well, now somebody just jumped in the back room. So, great call, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you as always, Zach. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yep.
All right, we got CJ Money Grip.
Yeah. Hey, Zach.
What's up, man?
Oh, yeah. I don't really watch football. I never really did. But I was going to choose to gamble since I knew the script now and all that. But I forgot you had to be like 21 to gamble, so I couldn't do that. But I still think that the information is really important and stuff like that. But, I try to tell people, they don't listen, they don't really care and stuff, so.
But because they don't want to listen, they want to keep thinking it's real. They like it too much. It's too entertaining.
Yep.
They love it too much. It's been on their mind. It's the ego, because it's hard for people to admit that they've been duped by something that's real.
Yeah.
It's that Mark Twain quote: "It's easier to fool somebody than to convince them they've been fooled."
Nah, yeah. I've been watching you since 2020, but I started realizing it was rigged the year before that because I'm a Phillies fan. Well, I was a Phillies fan because I'm from Philadelphia.
Sure.
And I was watching the Sixers versus Raptors game, that playoff series, and when Kawhi hit that shot in Game 7, I knew.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
and it bounced all over the rim.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It was the anniversary of it was the Vince Carter had the same thing happen, but it didn't go in.
Man, I used to be so hyped on the NBA until I figured your page out on Kobe's death.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at all this stuff, rituals, and I was like, dang, that's really crazy. Yeah. The stuff the stuff they be doing too in games, you can see like why would they do that if they're professionals, money, championships? It should be crazy.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. And the Niners might have just put it away. It might be the Joe Montana Bowl repeat against Super Bowl 58, the 54th of the modern era. Joe Montana equals 54. Like I talked about this morning on the stream, Joe Montana
Yeah.
is 67 years old. Kansas City equals 67. 67 is the 19th prime number. It's been 19 years since somebody went back-to-back. Joe Montana is one of the quarterbacks that went back-to-back. He did it in Super Bowl 23 and 24. Like it's the 23-24 season, and the Lions just can't get off those 24 points when Lions equals 24. So they're going to break the Lions' Hearts fans again unless they got a miracle here. 58 points right now in the game.
Well, that's all I really wanted to say. I'm gonna keep trying to put people on. I tell my friends and stuff, but they don't really be seeing it though. I don't know how.
Well, you stay on it, man. They might have been. There's been some people that occasionally will be like, Zach, I used to think you were crazy, but now I can't deny it. So you stay consistent. They might finally. That said, I haven't had a single family or friend who was hating on me back in 2013 for showing this. I haven't had a single one ever reach out and say, you know what, Zach, you're right. So he also might never have him admit it, but they might know in the back of their mind. My cousin who used to always make fun of me, he doesn't say anything anymore. So I think he knows now.
Yeah, I will tell him to bet, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hey, and it's not just about betting too. It's really about because really just how many people get so emotionally involved in these games and just let it like ruin their day and their weekend when their team goes down. If you realize the game's all rigged and scripted, you're not going to let it do that to you anymore.
Yeah, and it's not. It's just like mentioned. It's just like so they know, like they can see the numbers that it's actually like a real thing, not just like that's the gateway to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right. Well, Lions are in danger of not covering the spread right now. They're down 10, 34-24. And, you know, if they go down and get a field goal, they're going to be back within the spread. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But, yeah, man, it's on 58 points right now. Super Bowl 58. And, you know, the good news for us is that if it's San Francisco, Kansas City, this was a Super Bowl we had a future in from before the season began. And what I've realized is a lot of people in my community, they chase the value. Last year, I told people before the season began in the AFC, it was either the Bills or the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Ended up being the Chiefs, of course, with Damar Hamlin, the Bills member, being a big storyline and him being at the Super Bowl in that crazy Jesus jacket, if you remember. And before this season began, the first team we thought in the AFC this year was the Chiefs. Then all the deaths with Baltimore were saying, oh, man, it could be Baltimore too. But we've been thinking AFC Championship was going to be Chiefs and Baltimore. Then after week 3, we said, Chiefs got the best narrative based on what Andy Reid did. And this Super Bowl 58, the 54th of the modern era, another Joe Montana Bowl has been making a lot of sense. And right now, it's looking like that's what's going to be. And again, it is perfectly synced with Joe Montana. So, you know, yesterday's stream, if you were with us, I said to me the top 2 Super Bowl scenarios are Chiefs Lions or Chiefs Niners. And this morning we did one last stream and I said, you know, if I really got to only pick one scenario, you know, I started out with why this Chiefs Niners Joe Montana thing really does look right. And I feel bad for the Lions fans right now. A part of me really did want to, it's not over, but you know, just it's nice to see a city get some love who never gets to be in it. And it's just sad how they got to do this. If Detroit's going to go down, and it's not looking good right now, man, this is really going to hurt the people of Detroit. They love to just punk a city, man. You know, they were feeling it, never been there, and just, man, total collapse in the second half. Just can't get off the 24 points. Can't get off that Lions 24, which we keep telling you about. I just saw Dan Campbell drop an F-bomb. Got to make it look real over there. Yeah, Joe Montana Bowl, man. And you know what's crazy is from Joe Montana's June 11th birthday to the Super Bowl is exactly 35 weeks. That's a special number in the NFL. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about 35 Thursday, which we love. But first Super Bowl ever was Packers over Chiefs. Won it with 35 points. Outside of the base ciphers, another important cipher system. I don't use it much in sports, but it's obvious it's relevant in this regard. In septenary and Chaldean gematria, both football and Super Bowl equal 35. And that's part of the reason 35 Thursday is so magical. Of course, Thursday just equals 35 in our base ciphers. But 35 Thursday has been hitting like a mother in the NBA. Just this past week, the Celtics got their 35th win on Thursday, and Joe Mazzulla stayed on 35 losses with the Celtics. But yeah, and something I talked about too is Super Bowl 58, the 54th of the modern era. They're putting up the Kobe statue again 3 days before the Super Bowl. And on the anniversary of Derek Thomas, it'll be on the 24th anniversary of Derek Thomas' death that they put up that statue. Derek Thomas, 458 for the Chiefs, supposedly died from complications due to a car accident. But Kobe supposedly died in an accident too. But that was the Super Bowl right after Kobe's death. Kobe Bryant equals 58. Kobe Bean Bryant equals 54. Again, Super Bowl 54, one Sunday after Kobe's death. Kobe and Cali like the Niners. And I'm just thinking about Gavin Newsom, the governor right now, the Jesuit governor of California, who used to be mayor in San Francisco. His birthday is October 10th. That's the day leaving. 82 days left in the year. Oh, damn. The Super Bowl's 124 days after his birthday. God, there was the craziest 124 ritual this year with the Chiefs. Remember, the Chiefs played in Germany, and they beat the Dolphins? And that game was 124 days after the death anniversary of Hank Stram. He died on July 4th in history. And Andy Reid tied Hank Stram with his 124th regular season win with the Chiefs. He'd already had more than that, but it was 124th regular season win. And it was in the German football stadium, and the German football club that plays in that stadium was 124 years old. That was one of the biggest locks of the entire season. We knew the Chiefs had that. It was beyond just the 124 thing. But I don't know a lot about the number 124. Again, I know some things, but there's still a lot of these numbers that I don't know the full meaning of. Like say a 201, I really understand that. But I bet there's something more to that 124 in light of them doing a mega ritual like that with that number. There's something else about 124 in that ritual with Hank Stram and Andy Reid that I'm forgetting right now. Lions making that's the NFL, man. Just how easy they go down the field at the end of these games, just to keep things exciting, keep people glued. Got to watch a few more commercials, a few more State Farm, Patrick Mahomes bundle ads. Yeah, Florida does have that 124 connection. You're right, because they beat the Dolphins, which is a Florida team. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So if you're not watching the game, Niners up 34-24. For the record, both 49ers and Maryland have that 34 connection, like Super Bowl 47. The Maryland team beat the 49ers with 34 points on the 34th day of the year. Lions 24. So it's just like, just these common numbers. In hindsight, I'm like, why didn't I think of this? That's where sometimes we can hit the actual score for the game, and that's where you got to bet just like $1 to win 100. It looks like you got in the end zone. They're saying he stepped out. Did he step out on purpose? Does momentum carry him? Oh yeah, he did step out. Yeah. Yeah, he stepped out. He's about at the 1. Ball's at the 1. But yeah, Lions couldn't move the ball all second half, and then to keep things exciting, they're just going down the field like nothing. So they're at the 1, a minute 10 left, 70 seconds. Niners up 10. We would like to see the Lions score here because I know a lot of people in our community have Lions with the points. But wouldn't it be something if they just kept them on 20? Let's see if they can convert on this thing. If they don't convert, it's going to stay on 58 points. That's another storyline in this game. So Shanahan, the coach of the 49ers, his father, Mike Shanahan, was an NFL coach. And McCaffrey, the running back for the 49ers, his father, Ed McCaffrey, was a receiver in the NFL. And Ed McCaffrey used to play for Mike Shanahan. So you got another McCaffrey-Shanahan duo. And I want to say those two were in Super Bowl 33 together, Ed McCaffrey and Mike Shanahan. That was the Terrell Davis MVP Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. Denver Broncos over the Atlanta Falcons from the 33rd parallel. 4th and goal, minute left. And my favorite play in the last game was right at the beginning. Chiefs had a 4th and 2 at the 42-yard line, right? Super Bowl on the 42nd day of the year. The Jackie Robinson statue just stolen in Kansas when Jackie Robinson, number 42, used to play for the Kansas City Monarchs in the Negro Leagues. But, of course, Jackie equals 42 in Gematria. Chiefs trying to become 4-2 in Super Bowls on the 42nd day of the year like we talked about a year ago. We're talking about if the Chiefs won last year, they become 3-2, like Kansas City equals 32, like Chiefs equals 32, like NFL's 32, and then it would set them up for this year's Super Bowl to potentially become 4-2. That's why they were our early front runners. People don't want to put in the futures on the Chiefs, though, at the start of the year because they're always big favorites with not the greatest odds. Oh, the Lions are going to split. Well, we did want that Lions touchdown right there because now they're in range to cover the spread. And, okay, that's good for us because we did think Lions with the points was the smart move. So, now they got a chance if they can get an onside kick. Yeah, they're going to need an onside kick. But they took him off the magic 24. For the record, San Francisco 49ers does have Gematria 65, San Francisco's 50, and 49ers is 15. So now you got 65 points in the game. And with regards to that 15, remember Mahomes number 15 trying to win his 15th playoff game. And if Mahomes does win the Super Bowl and he gets his 3rd Super Bowl for him, it'd be the 4th for the Chiefs. Expect number 4 Rice to score in that game, right? You got to imagine that Rice is going to be scoring. Jerry Rice for the 49ers. You got to imagine number 4 Rice is scoring against the Niners if this is the Super Bowl Chiefs-Niners. I'll look at the numbers and how it aligns, but I got to think number 4 Rice is going to be scoring against San Francisco. And again, you guys, just Jerry Rice in San Francisco. Think about Rice-A-Roni. Their motto is the San Francisco treat. It's just like Hines Ward playing for the Steelers at Heinz Field. It's like, Robert Kraft hiring Gerard Mayo for the catch when Kraft Foods, their mayonnaise product is called Real Mayo. Now Robert Kraft's got Mayo replacing Belichick. But okay, we're happy with this score situation here. This is a Lions cover. I remember, oh God, it wasn't a couple seasons ago. It was a couple seasons ago. Maybe it was a few seasons ago now. You guys remember the game where I can't remember exactly how it was. It was like the kickoff or an onside kick, and then it was like one of those follies play, and they kept flipping the ball further and further back. It was a Niners game, and then somehow the ball ended all the way back up in the end zone for like a safety, and then it screwed up the spread. And I was like, come on, man. It wasn't going to have any bearing on the outcome of the game, but it was all about the spread. I remember Scott Van Pelt covered it that night. If you ever watch Scott Van Pelt on ESPN, he does something at the end of the night called Bad Beats. The crazy things that happened in sports to get something on one side for the gamblers. And it's like, okay, essentially what this is showing you is how the house never loses and the things they do at the end of these games to change the gambling outcomes. This game, the over hit, and it's interesting because the over under kept climbing in value, which means people were betting the over. The Niners got it. Number 85's got it. National Football League 85. That's it. Yeah, it's over. It's over. It's Joe Montana Bowl Part 2. I don't know if my dad saw the comeback. He's probably all red and upset. He probably lost some more hairs thinking the 49ers lost. To call her, hey, Dad, they want to be like, what? You're kidding me. He always says that. You're kidding me. I turned it off. I turned it off at halftime. I can't believe it. They're talking about heartbreak at the doorstep. But today, the underdogs were the winning bets. Chiefs covered and the Lions covered. So Lions don't win the game, but the underdogs were the winning bets on 128 when underdog is 128. Did they need to re-kick it, or can they just decline it? They're saying that the guy touched it too early. Woo, sweet lady. Sweet lady. Uh-oh. Sweet lady wasn't happy with. She came home early tonight. I wasn't expecting her to be home already. She had to work today. She's like, "Why are you live streaming right now?" We gotta talk rigged football. We gotta wake up people. Hold up, we got a few more people in the chat. Let's get in a few more people here. What's up, Muhammad?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, man. I wanted to talk about how like LeBron has the Boule logo tatted on his chest.
Yes.
It's like because there was a video that was trending. I don't think it was edited, where somebody on the sideline when he was benched during the Clippers game asked him, why did he sacrifice Kobe?
Really?
And yeah, and he heard it through all the noise. He was talking to AD. He heard it through the noise, and he turned his head after, and looked right at him. And that's when the video ended.
To remind people, LeBron passed Kobe in points scored in Philly, Kobe's hometown. The Boule was founded in Philly, and there's a lot more to that. But that's interesting. I have to look that up. I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, man. Because it's like I think why he had that reaction is because nobody has the balls to ever mention it when they're around him or anybody of that anybody who's gained any celebrity, you could say, right? It's like no. I know he thinks the people in that arena are so clueless. So when one person
I'll tell you something real interesting. This is a true story. When I went down to LA, if you don't know, we went down to LA in April last year, and we were talking outside the stadium, educating people about Kobe's death and the ritual of his death and all the 41s in his death, how he died on the Pope's 41st day of his age at age 41, all the 41s in his career, how LeBron won the finals exactly 41 weeks after his birthday that year on Father-Daughter Day. So these two men who work there, they're groundskeepers. They came up and they talked to me and they said, dude, well, we're glad you're out here exposing this, because they said, we can't wait till LeBron leaves because we watch him do the craziest, most demonic shit before the games, and we know there's something wrong with that guy. And so there are people around LeBron who know something's up that most of the fans probably don't know, but those were two guys that work in the grounds crew cleaning up the locker rooms and stuff. And they came over to let me know that. So, and that's why I like going out, because you meet people in public and they tell you things and they're like, hey, I'm glad you're telling me this. This is interesting. So, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that's good that some people do. It's like, trust me, I know that a lot of people, they think that they think the majority are clueless. Like, especially in these arenas and every arena they go to for these games, they're like, yeah, everybody thinks it's legitimate. They won't look past the game itself. But it's good that there are people who realize it, and I just wanted to let you know that because when he turned his head, it was almost like a reaction that was like, somebody's mentioning that. I thought like everybody in like you said, everybody in America has amnesia. They don't remember anything from the past. It's all, you know what I'm saying? It's all flushed down the toilet after they leave school. So it's like, it's crazy, man. But I wanted to let you know that. But thanks for letting me on.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, you have a good night.
You too.
All right, we got a couple more people in the room. Or shoot, they dropped out. There were more. Or no, they're back. There they are. What's up, D Manning?
What's up?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right.
Yeah,
This is the Danny Manning from the NBA, is it?
Nah, man.
What's up?
Nothing much. I'm just sitting here watching this game. I was watching your stream. I'm on the operator, so I have a lot of time on my hands. I was driving to Florida listening to your stream a few days ago, and when you said about Kansas City beating Baltimore, I like that. But this game right here was so confusing, so I just took the points in a parlay. But I was hoping Detroit could have won and got that Eminem Taylor Swift bowl. I was really thinking that was going to happen, but I saw the second half line and they were up 14 at the second half, and the live line was San Francisco plus 8.5 points. So I was just trying to figure out if it was something with that 8.5, but I should have took it live so I could have double dipped, but I didn't know.
Yeah, big National Football League number 85, just like the Chiefs game 85 versus the Raiders today. But yeah, the Joe Montana thing, talked about just how it all lined up with Joe Montana and the back-to-back thing and him being 67 and all that and him going back-to-back in 23 and 24. Again, this made a lot of sense. So I'm not shocked by this outcome at all. And again, this is something we had a future in from before the season began. So I'm happy.
Who do you like in the Super Bowl?
49ers equals 15, and number 15, Mahomes is going for his 15th playoff win. Mahomes trying to get his third Super Bowl win. 49ers can get their third Super Bowl loss. So that's what's standing out to me right now.
Yeah, I was telling my homies that I think baby goat, baby Brady, I think he's the new always Super Bowl, always in the AFC Championship. I feel like the AFC wins more games when they play the 49ers than not.
Brock Purdy already looks sad. He's like, shit, man, I'm not doing the State Farm ads. I know the script next week, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I feel like whoever won this game was sacrificed
Brock
anyway.
Purdy doesn't look that happy. He's like, fuck, they already showed me the Super Bowl script. Damn. Look at these Lions fans crying, poor things.
Yeah, man, it was a pretty profitable day for me. I actually napped through the first game. I already knew Kansas City was going to win. I could see how Lamar and all those were playing. There was no offensive movement at all.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could just tell they weren't looking like themselves. They were playing in that loser script.
Yeah, they definitely were. Definitely were.
Even in the post game, the refs just killed Baltimore all game. Just killed them all game. Couldn't get any call.
All game long, literally all game long. And not only that, you can tell in the press conference, like they already knew that they weren't winning that game. Lamar was like, "Yeah, I'm proud of my team."
Yeah, that's the script, man.
Yeah, Kansas City for the Super Bowl. I can't wait to see what these odds look like tonight.
Where's that troll who called into my last stream who said he hasn't called in a long time, who guaranteed the Super Bowl was the Ravens and the Lions?
I watched that when I didn't get it live. I watched it. Yeah, I remember him calling like, "Oh, you think you know everything, Lamar?"
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "Look, 816 days of support. That's the Super Bowl. That's a lock." I was like, that's not how I decode sports. I wouldn't call that any kind of lock at all.
Yeah, Ray Rice sacrificed his son for this, and they didn't even go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Montana Bowl Part 2. Yeah, it's here. So.
Yeah. He sounded like he just wanted Lamar, and then I think he said something along the lines that Lamar was the blacker quarterback. So.
Right. Yeah, he's not going to call in today. We know that. By the way, you guys. If you want to look up the article about the Puppy Bowl, the two teams that they were hyping for the Puppy Bowl that's up, or the dog names that they're hyping in the mainstream article, are Patrick Mahomes and Bark Purdy. So they were telling you, we've been showing year after year how they even do it through the Puppy Bowl.
Another thing I want to speak on again is you know how everybody was betting that Super Bowl matchup from like 2 months ago because the colors was out and they were saying it was news prompts and all this stuff. I really think Vegas puts those out there for people to kind of, because they raked in. You know how much people parlayed San Francisco and the Ravens today?
Oh, I'm sure a ton because of all that media coverage. They know how to dupe people.
Yeah, like the sharp, what they call sharp bets, where like most of the money is, all the money like was more so on the Ravens. So
yeah,
they raked in pretty smoothly today. I don't know about the Lions +7. I don't know what the money was at for that game, but I was really watching the money for the Kansas City game, and I know they raked in a whole lot.
Yeah, that's how they do it, man. They know how to dupe the populace with the media. They know the media is the mind control device.
Yeah, I seen something about how Vegas they're using artificial intelligence to see how the public will bet games, and kind of see how like what propaganda they can put out to make somebody go, "Hey, I want to bet this because I saw that on TV today."
Yeah, and you know they're doing it. They're doing it with all these algorithms and technology and data collection. And that's also why in the last 4 years, my winning percentage with this knowledge has gone down in the last 4 years. In the last 4 years, a lot of gambling's been legalized and the changes are happening. And that's part of the reason our stats aren't working as well as they used to. But they're still working enough that we're still hitting the futures and still winning more consistently than not. So.
Yeah, I was thinking that the other day too. Like the more mainstream it goes, the more funnier like bullshit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just inevitable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been really just trying to stay away from American sports lately. I just been betting like overseas soccer thing, and it's not that much going on over there.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna keep watching. I just want to tap in and holler at you.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks for the call.
All right,
take care. All right, we got one more. Love Man.
Hey Zach, I love your work. Been watching your work for years. I really wish people saw your old content because you had a really interesting video a long time ago, and it was about the Denver Broncos connection with the 49ers. And I remember when Peyton Manning had 55 touchdown passes to 10 interceptions. And years ago in the 80s, I think the 49ers beat the Miami Dolphins 55-10
No, they
with
beat
that.
the Broncos. They beat the Broncos 55-10. And then when the
Oh,
Broncos
it was the
that Super
Broncos?
Panthers,
Okay.
Elway was 55 years old, who lost in that Super Bowl. That was part of the reason I also was saying that the Broncos were going to win that Super Bowl in the stadium. I said that's the trade-off.
Damn, yeah, it's so weird because then I did like research on the Gold Rush. The Gold Rush ended in 1855.
Yep.
Peyton Manning threw 55 touchdown passes, and then Von Miller, who was the MVP of that game, he has a gematria of 48, and the Gold Rush started in 1848. So I'm like, damn, like
And
there's a
remember, the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl.
yeah.
The word gold equals 38. Colorado's the 38th state, plus Colorado equals 38, and they won that Super Bowl on the 38th day of the year in the 49ers Stadium, named after the Gold Rush. Those are all the things we were talking about that season, just all the narratives, plus Colorado's known for its mountains and all the gold and minerals in the mountains. Right before that Super Bowl, considered the greatest Denver Nugget in all time, Nuggets are gold nuggets, he died right before that Super Bowl, too.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, I can look.
Yeah, because I don't know what they delete your channel like probably 30 times, but that particular year, I remember how you were calling things like so well. Like I think the year after that, you called like the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs, to win the National World Series also.
16 as well. That was the easiest one ever, that they were going to break the 108-year drought. 108 double stitches on a baseball. Major League equals 108. The Sears Tower, tallest building in Chicago, 108 stories. And we said that the Cubs were going to win that on Game 7 on November 2nd in the 112th World Series, because mathematics equals 112 and geometry equals 108. Exactly what they did. Oh, look who's out there. Joe Montana. Joe Montana's out there. Of course he is. Damn, man. If people only knew. Joe Montana, who went to the Catholic school Notre Dame.
Damn. Yeah, I think that's why they kept deleting your channels, because like if you had your old channel up and people saw how much right you were more often than not, then I don't think you would have as many trolls. But the trolls can come out now because you've had so many channels deleted and they act like you didn't predict any of these things. And I remember when you predicted that World Series in the springtime, like early on, I'm like, damn, like that's so like I like.
The World Series every year I've been here. Every year we've been hitting huge World Series futures. We did it again this year. We had Rangers at 50-1 after Game 1 of the season.
Yeah, it was fucking epic. I'm like, it just makes me angry because like I know the last few live streams, we keep getting trolls call in, and I'm like, these got to be new fans or subscribers or new trolls, because they damn sure didn't see you in 2015, 2016, because that's when I first saw you. I was like 18.
Well, the sad thing is they probably did. Most of my trolls, I think, are paid for. That's why they harass 24/7, 365. Nobody else has trolls on their Patreon page. I got trolls that are harassing 24/7 on there. They want to disrupt what we're exposing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bottom line. That's why they do what they do.
Yeah, and you also had a video on how Donald Trump had a connection to the Raven, and I remember the Army-Navy game. I think it was 2015, I think it was 2016, the year Trump got elected. And I think the gematria of Navy was the same as the score. Like the score synced up with the gematria that year. And you were talking about how Donald Trump has a connection with the Raven, and they had a receiver named Alan Poe in that game, and Donald Trump was one of the commentators in that particular game. Like that whole particular year, 2015, 2016, there were so many connections that you were hitting. And then I was doing a lot of research also that year. It was just amazing and remarkable. But I didn't even watch Gematria for the sports. I just liked it for the knowledge. But then like I saw some of the sports stuff, I'm like, this is interesting too. And I just decided to do my research. And I remember that year when I was researching Peyton Manning and his stats. And I'm like, yeah, there's a connection there. And, the Bronco, I look up the etymology. It means like something that is angry. And that, Bronco has like the horse on their, airport. And they had who else was it? It was Emmanuel Sanders.
Airports. With regards to airports, somebody just called in yesterday who lives in Vegas, and he pointed out that the Vegas airport, I forget, it was like the Patrick something airport, but they just changed the name to the Harry Reid International Airport because Harry Reid, the senator, just recently died. So it just went from Patrick to Reid, and now you got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid going to the Super Bowl in Vegas. So.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And I heard you the first time. You were saying what I was saying. I'm like, if Lamar Jackson's an athletic quarterback, I'm like, he's not running at all. And why does he look slower? I'm like, there was one play he went on the outside. I'm like, he could have broke it for 60 yards, and he's just like slowed down and let the guy tackle him. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why is he slowing down? Like he's fast and he's not running. He's like standing in the pocket. It just looks so strange. And it's like, I know it's scripted, and the NFL has admitted it was scripted. I remember when the Baltimore Colts lost to the Jets, and one of their linemen, he was on a Playboy magazine, and he said he believed that the players were poisoned because there was no way that a dominant Baltimore team was going to lose to Joe Namath, and they ended up losing that game.
Sure. And Broadway
And
hated it. Underdog. Yep. Yep.
yeah, he really admitted the game is rigged. Saying it all along, and then you look on Empire. I mean, I think Gladiators had to show it when The Crow, that movie, when he got drug, Russell Crowe's like you tamper with these sports leagues for thousands of years. And there's an article about saying that people think that the New England Patriots are the most cheating team in the NFL, but it said really it's not Denver Broncos. And there was a whole list of all the stuff he cheated with, and like, I think 1 year Mike Shanahan was spying on the team, and Mike Shanahan was saying everybody kind of does it in a way, it's just like it's whoever gets caught and does it. I'm like, nobody games or nobody remembers the Dolphins. They lost, I think, all their draft picks because they hired Don Shula before they were supposed to. So it's been around for a long time. It's just people don't do the research at all.
Let's
So
not forget
people
that
say, "Oh,
Don Shula died right after Super Bowl 54, after the Chiefs
yeah."
beat the Niners. And I want to say he either died on April 5th or May 4th. It was one of those 2 days, but both those dates can be written 5-4. And I want to say Don Shula, Jesuit educated too. Those are big numbers with the Jesuits, both 45 and 54. Caller, wherever you are, though, your signal broke up. So a lot of stuff you're saying, it's hard to hear right now. It went to that like robotic broken up thing. Oh, shoot, he just dropped all the way. Damn. Well, that was a good call. Again, so, hey, congrats to the winners. Another future in. Yeah, we did have to cover a few different spaces this year before the season. But again, this Super Bowl lands. We had Niners Chiefs before the year as a very, very possible scenario rematch of the Joe Montana Bowl. Joe Montana 54, Super Bowl 58, the 54th of the modern era. Again, if you got here late, this morning on Patreon, I said I marinated on overnight, and I felt like the scenario that really made the most sense was Chiefs and Niners today, and I explained why. One more time, the reason my final gut check was this, and again, it was an early thought before the season began, but Super Bowl 23 and 24. If you go back and look, Joe Montana won back-to-back in 23 and 24. Joe Montana played for the 49ers and the Chiefs. And again, Joe Montana equals 54. Super Bowl 54, the Joe Montana Bowl. Super Bowl 58, the 54th of the modern era, now the Joe Montana Bowl as well. Joe Montana is 67 years old right now. Kansas City equals 67. 67 is the 19th prime number. Montana wore 19 with the Chiefs. Chiefs won the 2019-2020 season over the 49ers in the Joe Montana Bowl. And it's been 19 years since a quarterback won back-to-back. The last to do it was Brady, who came up in the Bay Area idolizing Joe Montana. Now you got Patrick Mahomes, who's the new face of the league, like Brady once was, like Joe Montana once was. So what I explained this morning is I said that's a strong number narrative. It's got a strong history narrative, and it connects three legends in the NFL: Joe Montana, Brady, Mahomes. And again, it can be tough because there can be good numbers and good narratives. And I still don't think that was luck. I still put hedge bets down on the Lions and even the Ravens, Lions, Ravens, and Lions, Niners, just to make sure I didn't lose my futures in case the Lions upset it today. And again, for people who got here late, before the season began, we had a future on the Harbaugh Bowl rematch, Niners, Ravens, and Chiefs, Niners before the season began. We loved all year for Chiefs, Ravens to be the AFC Championship. Talked about it again as soon as the Super Bowl ended last year. We talked about look for that to be the AFC Championship this year. If Chiefs make it, they'd be the most obvious team to become 4-2 in Super Bowls on the 42nd day of the year. So we're right here again. And some years we only have one Super Bowl picked, and we're just confident. Like Super Bowl 55, we knew it was going to be Brady over Mahomes. We didn't have to hedge with anything. We rode that Super Bowl all the way. We never blinked. We never doubted it. Same thing with Super Bowl 53. Totally confident about that. Super Bowl 52, we called it in week 3, why it was going to be the Eagles and Patriots. Super Bowl 50, week 3 that year as well. We had why the Broncos were going to beat the Panthers. Other years we've had to hedge our Super Bowl. The year of Super Bowl 54, we put in a future for Niners, Chiefs in week 3, but we also had like 4 or 5 other Super Bowl scenarios covered as well. And this year, I think over the course of the season, I probably had 8 Super Bowl futures recommended. But again, it's just a math thing. Imagine that you bet $100 on all 8 of those futures, right? You lose $700 on the 7 that didn't hit. The Niners-Chiefs matchup pays nearly 20 to 1, right? So you made money. You made a profit. So 49ers, Chiefs. Congrats to the winners. Let's go out to Brandon C. What's up, Brandon?
What's going on, Zach? Yeah,
What's
I'm the guy that called in yesterday. Told you about the Jackie Robinson statue.
That was a great call. Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, man, 4 years ago you called. You said Mahomes would be 3 and 4 next Super Bowls, and you can't go against it. I mean, everybody keep trying to deny the work. You know what I'm saying? But you saying it 4 years ago when Kobe passed away, and, you know, their narrative is just like you said. They constantly putting things out. Everybody calling in with all this stuff. This right here, this right there. I mean, it's just nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And you got all the trolls. They still calling in and hating and doing what they do, but just keep cashing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I mean, just the work is undeniable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for the ones that's out there, you know, they still denying it. I mean, sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to put a little water on your face.
Indeed, indeed. And by the way, one other thing I remember, the top headlines this morning on ESPN's front page for the NFL, and also what they're covering on the TV, they were talking about how assistants for the Ravens and the Lions might be getting head coaching jobs. And I said this morning, oh, so if they're both eliminated today, they'll have time to go do those interviews.
Right.
And I also pointed out how on this day in history, January 28th, 2001, the Super Bowl was the Ravens beating the Giants, and
Right.
Dan Campbell played on that Giants team. And look, the Ravens and Dan Campbell are both out today on
Right.
the anniversary of that game. So there was a historical link. They moved together.
Then look at the commercials. Like I told you, you walk in your Kroger, your local store, go to the Dorito bag. Travis Kelce on the Dorito bag with the Super Bowl logo on the Dorito bag. They got the commercial with the red and yellow graffiti coming out. Like, how can y'all continue to go against this stuff? Like, the Chiefs, the only red and yellow team left. Soon as Grum bite that chip, the red and the yellow graffiti just shoots out the bag.
For people who haven't seen the ad, again, a Lay's, Frito-Lay's ad, Gronkowski, you know, multi-Super Bowl winner.
It's
Did
the
he win
same thing.
Gronkowski win 4 Super Bowls?
Yeah, he did. He won a
look who else can win 4 Super Bowl now that I think about it.
Right. And then look, you know, the year when Tampa went and they had the commercial with him and Gronk going back to Florida doing it. It's the same stuff over and over again. If you don't see that Lamar Jackson is not in not one commercial, Lamar Jackson doesn't have a commercial. So that should tell you he's not marketable like that. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he's not a great player, but Patrick Mahomes doing commercial, Andy Reid doing commercial, Travis Kelce doing commercial. Then you got Taylor Swift. That's another 20 million views. And then you got 49ers there, knowing right next to Las Vegas, they're going to be able to drive the ticket prices up just because San Francisco and how the fan base is. Sometimes you got to use your mind. Like, it ain't even about the number. Like I told you yesterday, San Francisco, Kansas City, you can't go against it. Once that Jackie Robinson statue was reported missing, I said, this it right here. And the guy calling in talking about it ain't no clues left. And soon as you say that, later on that day, you told him you still got more time left. Just wait. Just be patient.
Yeah.
And
that caller learned a lesson, because I said, what do you mean? We got like 3 days left. And then the next day it's Taylor Swift with 58,000 reposts of the fake porn video. It's like, okay, there's 58 again.
You can't make
Jackie Robinson statue stolen. Travis Kelce. I mean, just all these things came out.
up. I'm telling you, you cannot make it up. Like I said, and you know Doritos do commercials during the Super Bowl, so you know Travis Kelce on the bag of the tater chips. He's on the bag. You know,
Right.
so like I said, it's sometimes you just gotta look yourself in the mirror and throw some water on your face. Sometimes.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. And great call yesterday. And I really do appreciate that tip on the Jackie Robinson statue because that added a lot of confirmation.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Over here telling me it's time to get up. Okay. I got to wrap it up. You guys.
All right, Zach.
All
Appreciate
right. Yeah. Have a good night, all. Congrats
All right.
to the winners. Until next time.